We be live.
We be live.
What is this one? This is a new.
No, I was just doing this. I was caught in the act. What's happening here? What's happening? Did you get a
It's
tattoo
okay.
or something? Or got a
No, no,
scratch?
no. I would not get a tattoo.
I
Uh,
I was gonna say. I reckon this has happened for the first time in history. Armin is so anal about about starting things on time that I managed to delay him by 2 minutes. Is that right, Armin? Has
yeah.
that happened for the first time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Armin's commitment to his audience is unwavering,
yeah.
unshakable. I basically, because in Australia we actually went an hour back,
You did the time
so
change. Yeah.
my watch was telling me that it's 8 o'clock, so it's not 9 o'clock. But yeah, anyway, sorry guys, sorry
I
that.
can't wait. Do you think we're gonna get to a day where people don't change the time? It makes no sense. I
Why it
think it
does make
should move.
sense? What do you mean it
Not
doesn't make
anymore.
sense?
It doesn't make
What do you mean
sense.
not anymore? No, in the tropics it doesn't, but further north you go and further south you go, it does make sense.
Mm.
Because a shift between the length of the days and nights is pretty big during winters
Yeah.
and summers. So yeah. So it doesn't make sense to have the same
Whatever.
time. Anyway, how you doing? How many questions you've got? Have you got much?
Good. I have five. I have five. What do you have?
I might have a couple of funny things to share as well. I don't think I
Yeah.
have enough, but I have. Yeah. I could. Oh yeah. We got to talk about Hamza Yousaf. You might have a question for
Yeah.
that too. I think. Do you have a question?
I don't have a question for that.
Yeah. You do. You do.
I think you might want to talk about Andrew Tate being released and stuff.
Oh
Talk
no,
about
I
it.
don't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with that?
Well, I mean, I do have some. Well, let me start with the Patreon questions.
Okay.
One of them at least.
Because I don't know
And
much about Andrew Tate. Like all I saw that he's been released and now he's in house detention. That's pretty much it.
what? Well, no. The main thing is that the first thing he said coming out is that he's going to do what he's been doing inside prison, which is doing push-ups and reading the Quran.
Yeah.
So I think there was a collective jizzing of young Muslim men around the world just hearing that.
Collective jizzing. I was like, I was thinking, what is? I think what was it? Destiny. I think he tweeted something like this. He said, which one is worse? Single men simping over OnlyFans models, or single men simping over Andrew Tate? Which one is worse? I think definitely simping over Andrew Tate is worse.
Andrew
Because
Tate,
OnlyFans,
yeah.
because OnlyFans, like, okay, at least it's an opposite sex.
No, well, at least it's not as harmful. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, sorry, not about opposite. Yes, sorry, well, good save. There's nothing wrong even with same sex. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, you're right. It's not harmful. Yeah, you're right.
Like
It's not
people could be
harmful.
people could be simping on OnlyFans over male
Yeah, of course.
models.
Yeah, of course. And I think there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do without you?
Oh no, I haven't. D is saying, did you see the Tate South Park clip? No, now I have to go watch it. Amazing.
South Park clip. Wow, they made a South Park clip. That's gonna inflate his ego even more.
Oh, it's. I mean, it's.
But I don't think it's gonna do anything.
It's already his max.
Yeah. I think he's going. Yeah, but he's going away. But good on him. I was actually thinking for a guy whose ego is so big, for a guy who thinks that, you know, like, I'm the most popular man, I'm the most Google man, and you know, he was the most Google man for a month or two, and then he was overtaken by other people. But he's like, this is it. He's branded that as, I'm the most famous man on the internet. For someone like that, and then he gets arrested, and he's been in a little cell for what, nearly 3 months. But kudos to him for still, you know, keeping his head above his shoulder and still maintaining his ego. And they still haven't broken him. But you know, it might not be. And now when he's going to come out, he's going to have access to you know, all these simpy messages, and it's going to inflate it even more. But I think the real test would come when he's going to be sentenced. I reckon when the trial begins. I don't know. Like, I mean, I actually haven't followed it for a while. I don't know what's the delay.
We'll watch the clip. We'll watch the clip of him coming out. But people are asking, how do they ask questions? Okay, so there's two ways for you to ask questions. One, you could do a super chat. on either the Secular Jihadists channel or the Harris Sultan channel, which we're streaming this on both YouTube channels. Wherever you're watching this, if you do use the super chat option, we will answer your question. We also have some pre-selected questions from the Secular Jihadists Patreon account. So for the people who are watching on Secular Jihadists YouTube channel, there's a link to our Patreon in the description. If you're a patron, a day before the show, I usually post a link to the stream, and people post their questions under the Patreon post. And because they're patrons, we'll answer their questions. But yeah, super chats as well. If you guys haven't been able to become a patron and send us your questions ahead of time, we do answer super chats as well. But yeah, so do you want to bring up the Andrew Tate video? Should I
bring it up while we're talking about it? Yeah, bring it up while we're talking about it, because we've already spoken a little bit. So may as well go all the way. So yeah, I don't know which way it's gonna go, but yeah, I think that's gonna be a real test. I don't know what's taking so long to actually formally charge him. I don't buy the fact that these Tate fans say that they've got nothing. I think they still are collecting more evidence against him. But come on, it's been nearly 4 months? Yeah, now we're in the 4th month now, so I think they should charge him now. Oh, okay, what's going on here?
So we got a super chat which we will answer right after we show this. Let me just make sure. Do you have audio?
Yeah.
You have audio?
Yeah.
All right. So watch this. This is the first thing he says. One of the first things he says he's out.
Andrew, what are you planning for tonight?
Andrew,
here.
When I was in jail, I focused on doing push-ups and reading the Quran. When I am home, I will focus on doing push-ups and reading the Quran.
So somebody just yelled "Mashallah," so we couldn't hear it properly. That idiot couldn't wait for the sentence. Yeah. So first, Andrew Tate said that when I was in prison, I focused on doing push-ups and reading the Quran. When I go home, I'm going to focus on doing push-ups and reading the Quran. But that guy did saying "Mashallah" also shows even there, there's Muslims responding. Right, the guy just so excited just hearing Andrew Tate talking about the Quran.
Look at the guy behind Andrew Tate's left ear. He's simping. He's looking. He's smiling. He's so happy.
Yeah, look at as soon as he said that, he's like, "Look at you're right." So we have audio and visual confirmation of how much people are loving this.
Mashallah.
No, it's the same guy. It's the same guy.
Oh, it's the same guy. Oh, so that's the guy.
It's the same guy. Yeah, that's the guy. He said,
Mashallah.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Somebody tried to an Allah Akbar to go around. He said takbir. So when somebody says takbir, other people are supposed to respond into Allah Akbar. So that didn't work. So somebody said takbir and there was no response to it. But Top G got a response.
Top G. Top G is actually kind of sound very similar too.
Top G is the new Allah Akbar. You saw the takbir did not get a response because takbir is a request from everybody to just respond in Allah Akbar. So that didn't get a response. Just try it again.
Long live the Top G.
Oh, here. Wait, go back.
I focused on doing push-ups and reading the Quran.
Mashallah.
When I am home, I will focus on doing push-ups and reading the Quran.
Takbir, so versus takbir.
Long live the Top G. Top G. Top G. Top G.
This is, by the way, for people who don't know, him going to jail was so good for him. The Matrix being after you, the whole him being a victim, the system. This is his brand, as big as it was, it's now 10 times bigger because he went to jail. And because the narrative of the whole thing being so unfair to him, this has been perfect. There's no better marketing that he could come up with himself.
I was just going to say that. I mean, you could not have, if he comes out unscathed, if he's found not guilty, if he's acquitted, then he's gonna get so much bigger, and he's gonna ride that for a good 5-10 years. He's going to milk every segment of the society. So yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting. But I really doubt it. I mean, what we've heard, what we've seen, I'm no law expert, so I don't know how much of that is going to be proven in court. But sorry, what's going on? Yeah, so I don't know how much of that is going to be proven in court. But what we've seen, it seems like he's gonna go away for quite some time. But again, I don't know, like, is it provable? All what we've seen, have we also been blindsided by the narrative building from the other side? I don't know that. So I've already said that if he's acquitted, if he's found not guilty, then I'm going to say, you know what, Top G, you are innocent.
Wait a minute. No, that's not how the legal system works.
No, I'm talking about the legal system. The other moral part that we can criticize him on, but I'm saying all the accusations that were laid against him, and what
I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about morality. I'm talking about him being innocent. When the legal system doesn't charge you or doesn't come up with anything, okay, that doesn't mean you're innocent. That just means we don't have enough to prove that you're guilty. That never means that you're innocent.
Yeah, but we have to still go by that. So it's not proof.
That is a very important part of the legal system that you have to understand. The legal system never comes and claims that you are innocent. The legal system
you found not guilty. You said you found not guilty.
No,
I know.
No, we haven't found you guilty. Not that you have been found not guilty. You could still be guilty. So if you kill somebody, for example, right, and there's no evidence for it, the legal system is supposed to not punish you. The legal system is not claiming that you're innocent. The legal system is that we don't have enough to punish you, but it's not actually making the claim.
Yeah, I know that. But if you are innocent and the legal system cannot find you guilty, then in that case you are innocent. So I know technically.
No, not
okay. Hang on. No, okay, I know what you mean. I know that. So it still means that you could be guilty, but we just couldn't prove it in court. I get that. But I'm saying, let's say I am actually innocent. Yes. Actually innocent. I've been accused of murder, and now they put me on trial, and they could not prove me guilty. I'm going to come out. I'm going to say I am innocent. I was innocent, and I'm proven innocent. That's what I'm going to say. Now I know. You could say that, no, hang on, like O.J. Simpson case here. Well, not really. We just
that's not what I'm not talking about O.J. Simpson, okay? I'm just saying this is a very important distinction that people have to recognize about how the legal system works. This is actually not that subtle, like it's not that small of a difference. This is something that people need to understand, okay? Because people come and you could make that claim, but people have to understand that claim is not worth anything. And the only thing a legal system does when they don't charge you with something, when they don't punish you for something, is that we have failed to prove that you're guilty. It's very important to not take that as proof that somebody is innocent. That is not at all proof that somebody is innocent. It's only proof that the legal system could not find anything to prove that you're guilty. So you don't come like, okay, when somebody doesn't get punished or something.
So how would an innocent person make a claim that I'm innocent?
Well, they can't. You're proving a negative. So you could make that claim.
So you can never call yourself. So one can never claim himself innocent. You can always say,
you can't.
Well, no. I know you're saying no.
Not listening.
I mean, I got your point. No, you're not understanding.
You didn't, because you just said that. You just said something wrong.
So yeah, and let me correct myself.
Okay.
I am saying, if I am innocent and I make the claim, I know you're saying, okay, yeah, you can make that claim, but we can also say that no, not really, doesn't mean that. I'm saying that no, it shouldn't. That's not the world we should live in, because in that, by your worldview or whatever you're implying, and I know it makes sense. What I'm saying, if we go by that, then we can never look at any person who comes out of court who is found not guilty. Where you're saying that basically you can always say, nah, you can't really call yourself innocent because the court just couldn't find you guilty or couldn't prove that you were victim.
No, you can call yourself innocent. Can
I agree with him? Can I agree with him that, okay, you're innocent?
Okay, so you can talk about degrees of probability, okay? And here's something important, okay? It doesn't really matter if somebody is innocent or not. we as a society have to learn to treat somebody like they're innocent if we can't prove that they're guilty. The fact that they're innocent or not innocent should be secondary. We treat people that we haven't been able to prove as guilty like as if they're innocent. That's how you should treat people. But they can claim that they're innocent because, why not? But do we take it for because if you claim somebody is guilty, you need evidence. If you claim somebody is innocent, you also need evidence. Lack of proof for someone's guilt is not proof for their innocent. If somebody is actually,
I got that point. But again, I think it's not fair on a person who is actually innocent, and you just say, "Well, I'm going to treat you like innocent."
We don't. Yeah, but that's how we deal with things that we don't know.
No, I think we can.
If we don't know some,
I think we can deal with it that way as well. That the court.
This is how burden of proof works.
No, I know how it works, but we're deciding on the semantics of it. If someone says like, okay, I'll just give you a perfect example. Look, I've been through hell for a year through this legal battle, and I say that I've been falsely accused. Okay, now the court could not give evidence that I was guilty. Maybe there's a bit of a doubt or whatever. But I come out. I'm going to say I am innocent, and then people have a right to say that. Okay, you're innocent. I get it what you're saying. You're going the technicality of it, but I'm saying if someone comes to me and say, nah, you know what?
You're repeating yourself.
I'm treating you. I am treating you as innocent. That means like I'm like, what do you mean you're treating me as innocent? I am innocent. I get it, but anyway, I think we're going around in circles. Let's just go.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a couple of super chats. Let me actually.
Oh, you're gonna play his videos, yeah?
Oh wait, no. Oh yeah. No, one more. Yeah, but we got 3 super chats right before we get to the super chats. Good thing you mentioned this. So look, we were talking about him milking this. So guys, the most important thing you could do as an advertiser is to get people on your email list. By the way, link to my email list is under the description. If you are watching this as Secular Jihadists, we give you a lead magnet, which is something for free. So, for example, you get my book, or you get the blasphemous art for free if you sign up for more, etc. But look at this. So he's getting people on his newsletter using the first thing he does as a marketing post coming out of jail. He's posting a tweet of himself out of prison. I don't know why he has 2 versions of it. One of them with a broken heart on it. But he says, I am writing an email. It will be the first email I've sent since being released from incarceration. Incarceration, yes. Sign up to the email list for free at cobratate.com. So cobratate.com is his website, and where you go to sign up for his mailing list. And yeah, that's perfect. That's like right after when he knows people are just watching him and everything is focused on him to get to see what he says. What does he say? He gets people on his mailing list. That's genius. That's very smart.
But this is what I'm saying, Armin. Isn't that amazing that after 3 months of incarceration, him saying that, I've been cramped in this little prison cell 4x4, whatever, and then he's come out. He still knows what are the right things to say, how he's going to cash in on this, how he's going to ride this wave, and he's going to multiply and he's going to keep gaining more influence. Like, I mean, he could have come out like, what the hell just happened to me? Or, I'm saying, well done. Good on him.
What do you mean good on him?
No, he's good on him as in like, he hasn't been broken. That's what I'm saying.
Why would I be broken? I would be loving every single minute of this.
No, but like being in, come on, man, 4x4 cell for 3 months. I don't know if it's really 4x4, but he keeps on saying 4x4. Come on, Armin.
It's not.
Neither you and I have had our liberty taken away. I don't think that would be that would be an easy going experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're out, he's like.
No, but he's still in the middle of it, though. No, but his legal battles are not over yet, though. Like, I mean, he's just been given.
I'm not gonna celebrate somebody who's I still think probably he has done human trafficking. Okay,
Top
probably
G,
based on
top
probably.
G, top G, top G.
Okay,
I'm
you be on.
flipping. I'm flipping.
Okay,
No,
good, good.
no, I'm not. You're right. I still think that this is what I said. I gave a disclaimer. I said that I don't know how it's gonna. I'm no legal expert. I can't say that whether they would be able to prove that or not. But what we have seen so far, this evidence is, is pretty damning against it.
It's important. Here's what I wanted to say. It's important for us not to celebrate monsters when they do something that seems admirable, right? Because in
no, I agree with that.
Yeah. So
but I mean, my point is, I know we went down the rabbit hole of the technicality, but I'm saying when it does come out, he's not proven guilty. Okay, I'll just use your jargon. Then we're going to treat him as innocent, yeah?
Well, no. I said there's degrees of probability, right?
See, there's something in you. You're not willing to give him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is something in
Look
me.
towards the camera. It's more engaging.
This is not something that I'm gonna keep hidden. Like, I'm not being honest about. There's something. I have something. I have bias against Andrew Tate. He's a monster. He's a misogynist. He's abused women. And when it comes to when I'm saying, like, when somebody has not been proven guilty, I'm going to treat them like they're innocent. That's with average people, not with Andrew Tate. With this guy, if I had to guess, the probability of him being guilty for me is a lot higher. This is a guy who has been proud. Hold on. This is a guy who has been proud of abusing women. 1, 2. This is somebody who he himself has admitted to committing crimes. So, yeah, I'm not going to treat. I'm going to treat most people, if they're not proven as to be guilty, like they're innocent, but not this motherfucker.
I'm okay. Well, let's just wait. But we only have one way to arrive at that conclusion, and that is court of law. If he's found not guilty, then I don't think we have much to go by. We could say that, yeah, look, he's said a lot of shady things, he's done a lot of shady things, but like, I'm going to treat him like innocent of that. But I can still reserve my moral judgment about his character, though, and a stupid decision to convert to Islam, though. I can do that. But anyway.
And him being abusive against women, him cheating men out of their money.
But if he's not found guilty of abuse towards women, what can we do? Like, how can we call him that? Because people who are in better position than you and me are looking into evidence, and they're going to go through it.
That's not what they're charging him for. They're charging him for other things.
Oh, you mean abuse as in... Okay, so you're using term abuse as in...
Just general abuse.
Yeah, just manipulating them or something, which may not be criminal, but it's just bad. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's the moral judgment that I'm saying, that I would hold that judgment too. But I'm talking about the actual criminal element.
Yeah, but the criminal discussion was over. Now we were talking about, like, giving it to the man and celebrate. He did a good job.
Oh,
I'm
like,
fuck. Fuck. Yeah.
Fuck him. Yeah, he's an idiot. Yeah. He's still an idiot, regardless.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have we have 4 super chats now. Thank you, guys. I think
all of them.
Yeah, there
went
you go.
To you. All of them went.
Yeah,
to
guys who are watching on Harris. Guys, so thank you for the people who are doing super chats on Secular Jihadists. But Harris, people who are watching on Harris Sultan's channel, you guys should do super chats as well. See, what I have a smaller channel, but look, my fans are more committed.
They love you. Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Your people are more devoted to you. That's good. Congratulations. You have a stronger cult.
Guys, please support Harris Sultan on his channel.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Wherever you want to go, do it. If you can do it, do it. Wherever you want to. Okay, here's a question.
Okay. So, Reincarnation Entertainment, guys, go check out that YouTube channel. By the way, it's I think it's channel dedicated to it's either is or going to be one day committed to proofs for God at some point. Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, challenging the proofs for God. Reincarnation Entertainment is saying, have you seen the Muhammad hijab response to the Quran says the sperm comes from between the backbone and the ribs argument? He denies that it says that. He denies that the Quran says so. Guys, there's a verse in the Quran that says that the male sperm, comes from a place between the backbone and the ribs. And it's pretty clear about that as well. right? So it's so embarrassing that I guess people like Muhammad Hijab are now, if this is accurate, I haven't seen him saying that, but if this is accurate, this shows two things to me. Once, it shows that the Quran is so embarrassingly wrong that instead of defending this claim by the Quran, people are shifting to saying that it actually doesn't say that. But it does clearly say that, doesn't it, Harris?
Yes, I was just going to show the Quranic verse. That's Surah Al-Tariq. So that's chapter 86, verse 5. So it says, let man observe from what he was created. He was created from a fluid, meaning semen, ejected, emerging from between the backbone and the ribs. So this is such a stupid verse that even back then people knew that testicles, that's the main hub where all the action is happening. That's where your seed is being created.
All the
People
action.
knew. People, well, actually, the action is like a couple of inches further than that. but that's where the fuel for entertainment is created. So people knew that because people have been castrated, people have been removing people's testicles, etc. People have been doing that for a long time. But since Muhammad wanted to, Muhammad always he said a lot of things that he had heard from random sources or whatever. So the best explanation is that some people might have believed that sperm, the fluid that is required to create sperm, originates somewhere around here, because that's between back ribs and backbone. So he just included that in the Quran, which is obviously wrong. There's no evidence. There's absolutely nothing. It's, mind you, this is not the backbone the same, because like you've got bone marrow in your spinal cord. So it's not even that. Like everything, some people can connect that. I've heard some people connecting that to their bone marrow as well, which is, again, that's also false. But whatever, because it says fluid. But it's not even that. It's between the region. That's where kind of like where your lungs are, or somewhere in between. It's got nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. So I don't know. I haven't watched Muhammad Hijab's video. The traditional understanding has always been that before it goes to your testicles, the sperm goes somewhere, it comes from somewhere between backbone and the region between backbone and the ribs. So I haven't watched it, but I don't know, man. These guys, they know that these points are very troubling and embarrassing.
You know how you should, here's my response to it. Let's say that Muhammad Hijab is correct. Let's say that we have misunderstood this verse, okay, and that the Quran actually says something less embarrassing. What does that mean? That means, because think about it, for 1400 years, Arab-speaking scholars, okay, have interpreted this verse to mean exactly what it seems like it means. So if it means something else, so the worst you could say about it is that if Allah exists, he's an idiot. But the best you could say is that if Allah exists, he's still an idiot because he doesn't know how to write. Because he wrote the verse in a way that most people would interpret as that semen comes out of a place between your backbone and ribs. So if he meant something else, he doesn't know how to explain himself. He doesn't know how to communicate. So it's still pretty embarrassing. Right. So that's my response. Okay, next super chat. And we got another super chat as well. Thank you. All right. So here's another question.
Rakshit Sardharan.
Okay,
he's an ex-Hindu. He's an ex-Hindu atheist.
Okay. Do you want to read this question? Because
so he's saying 2023 Ram Navami is a Hindu festival of birth of Ram. So they celebrate the birth of Ram, and they walk around chanting Jai Shri Ram, or like those kind of slogans. People kind of like Bara Rabiul Awwal. Do they do that in Iran? Bara Rabiul Awwal, the day Prophet Muhammad was born?
No.
So do they celebrate his birthday? Okay, so in Pakistan they do. They light up the streets and everything. They make these hills kind of like a mini Mecca. People light up. It's kind of like, it's very, very cute actually. But anyway, not so much anymore. But they used to, when I was growing up. Yeah, every house was lit up. But I don't know why they stopped doing it. Or maybe actually, I don't know. They might still do it.
What's the question though?
So they do that. No, I'm just going with it. We'll fill it up. So that's the festival. That's the Ram celebration. So now it has turned out to be one of the bloodiest and hate-filled riots, stone pelting, property damage, etc., and anti-Muslim rants, violence against Christians, etc. That's partly true because I have also seen videos of Muslims pelting stones on Hindu pilgrims as well.
When was this?
Mainly in West Bengal, but it's happening all across India because everywhere they celebrate Ram's birthday. So, but again, like it happens every year. I think it happened on Friday or Saturday. It happened on Friday.
Okay.
So a couple of days ago it happened. So I think there might even be some. Let me show you. West Bengal violence. There might still be some videos on that. So there are a lot of such videos that have come out. It's not just Hindus. Hindus are the instigators. Well, in some cases, I'm sure there would be instigators, but it's everywhere. I've also seen videos of Hindus. These pilgrims. They go in front. They turn up in front of mosques and they're chanting Jai Shri Ram and dancing and they're basically being nuisance. And also sometimes when they're just going through a normal Muslim neighborhood and then Muslims from the rooftops are throwing rocks and stones at them. So yeah, it's a shit show. I think India's turning into a mess. It's just like who can up each other. And Muslims have played a major role in radicalizing Hindus as well. I have to say this. It's like every time this has become their common argument that they don't let anything they don't let you say anything against Muhammad. Why should we let them say anything against Ram? They celebrate Muhammad. Why shouldn't we celebrate Ram even more? So they weren't this celebratory towards their own Hindu religion, but they have become more radicalized about the Hindu faith. But I guess, yeah,
it's like getting. Imagine if Jewish people come out and say, "Well, they did genocide against us. Why can't we do genocide against other people?" So you would, because people do criminal things against you, that excuses you to not do criminal things. I guess
exactly. That's right. So there is a video. I don't think I can play this. Yeah, no, I can't play this. I think.
Too bloody.
I think I've given you. No, actually, I think that there's no blood or gore. I think I just show you.
Is it beating? No. Are people being beaten?
No one's being beaten. It just shows you.
Okay.
I'm not going to play any video. I'm not going to play the audio, but I'm just going to show you like some of this chaotic scenes. Like you can see these people pelting stones. There's 7 states. There's a Ram Navabi violence in 7 states. It's unrest and just people ransacking, torching things, turning things upside down. This is Madhya Pradesh.
Oh wow!
And look at this. And I'm not gonna accept that it's only one community. I think it's happening from both sides, but we don't know. No. Anyway, I think.
Great job, guys.
Religion. That's what religion is. I'm gonna blame religion in its entirety.
Yeah. This is how you celebrate religion, by destroying property and committing violence. Amazing. This is the true nature of religion. Thank you for demonstrating it. Imagine, take your country, just turn your country into a shithole country as well. Yeah, a hellhole. Yeah, good job, guys. Keep going at it. Like India has so much potential, right? And you guys are just holding it back. India is supposed to become a superpower in everything, in human rights, in culture, in economics, and you guys are just standing in the way. But yeah, keep doing that. Keep using your religious values as a way to hold everyone else back. Amazing.
You know that there's this global trend of rising nationalism everywhere, all around the world, even in the West. And India is not immune from that either. But India is such a divided, multi-religious or multi-intercultural country. Do you think that the nationalism is not just, it's not nationalism strictly in the sense of what we saw after the French Revolution, where people are more tribal about the nation states, but also people have become more tribal about the religious identities. Muslims never let it go, but other religions are becoming like that too. We've seen the hints of that amongst Buddhists, who are or have been otherwise not very tribal when it comes to Buddhism. They might be tribal over other regions, but when it comes to their Chinese identity or whatever, they might be tribal over that, but never really about their religion, or as much as they are becoming now. We've seen some hints of it. But Hindus, they're also becoming Hindu nationalists. Isn't that a clear example of how religions destroy? In this case, religion is actually in direct conflict with your national integrity, because if there was no religio nationalism, then Indian nationalism would not be threatened. Now Indian nationalism is threatened because they're not seeing themselves as we're all Indians. They're seeing themselves, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim. That's dividing people even furthermore. So if you call yourself a nationalist, because nationalism, a lot of Indians take a lot of pride. Hey, I'm a nationalist, Deshbhakt. I'm a true nationalist. I love my India. That's what I keep telling them. If you love your India, you have to let go of your, this Hindu versus Muslim mentality. You have to. Otherwise, there's no India. Well, what are you doing? You're isolating 200 million people of your own country. That's like about 17-18% of your country. What are you going to do? How is your nationalist identity stay intact with that kind of sentiment?
That was perfect, Harris. That was perfectly said. That was beautiful. You should cut that, put it on Twitter. Yeah, that was really nice.
Well,
that was
we'll put a sad music behind it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the next question. What percentage, thank you guys, by the way, for all the super chats. What percentage of Muslim theological schools consider Andrew Tate and Muhammad Hijab heretical, fake Muslim, or hypocrite? Are they mainstream in Islam? I mean, when you talk about theological schools, we only have 6 main ones, or 7 main ones, the 4 Sunni ones. We have the Jafari one in Shia Islam, and then we have the Ismailis and Ahmadis. Those are the mains. Everything else is just like small when it comes to
Salafis, Wahhabis claim that they don't follow any 4 of the.
Yeah, they do, but they're Hanbali.
They're not really Hanbali. They kind of are, but they do say that's not an authority. That's why they go with Ibn Taymiyyah. That's like they create a separate one as well. So anyway, but you're right overall.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the Shias, the Shia school doesn't consider. So it's Andrew Tate and Muhammad Hijab would be very different, because with all Sunni schools of Islamic
Shias
thought,
don't care. So Shias don't care about them. So let's just narrow it down to 4 Sunni schools.
Yeah, let's just narrow it down to the Sunni schools of thought. I think they will all accept Muhammad Hijab, every single one of them, right? As the Muslim, right? Maybe Muslim who sins here and there, but still a Muslim.
They all no, but you corrected me. I remember what it was. I can't remember what exactly it was when you were saying that means that they're fasik, or that means they're just not good Muslim, but they can't really do takfir on them. So we're going to talk about it in our next segment about the new Scottish First Minister, who's a Pakistani. More Muslim scholars. I'm just going to drop it now, but we'll talk about it in detail. More Muslim scholars have come out condemning him, doing takfir on him, than they have on Andrew Tate. They're celebrating Andrew Tate more, and then they're shitting on him.
But that's consistent with Islamic thought. So here's the thing: in Islam, no matter if you claim you're a Muslim, no matter how much you sin, they can't really come and say that you're not a Muslim. So claiming that somebody is not a Muslim, that's takfiring them, right? So we had a very old Islamic school of thought, which was the Khawarij. They said that if you're sinning, you become a non-Muslim. Sunnis and Shias don't believe that anymore. The Khawarij used to believe that, but Sunnis and Shias are like, no, if you sin, you could still be a Muslim. But if you claim that a sin, okay, is not actually a sin, so if you deny Allah's command, then you have left the fold of Islam. Then you are no longer a Muslim. So you could have sex with one woman out of marriage and be like, yeah, I'd be sinning. This is a sin. This is not good. You're still a Muslim. But if you, for example, have sex outside of marriage or drink alcohol, and somebody says like, why are you drinking alcohol? You're a Muslim. And you're like, that's not a sin. This is not a sin. Then you have left the fold of Islam because you have denied one of the commandments of Allah. You have claimed that this is not a sin. So sinning itself doesn't put you out of the circle, but claiming. So Andrew Tate has not done that. So people are like, oh, Andrew Tate is not a Muslim. Andrew Tate does this. He has webcams and he's still drinking alcohol. Oh, look,
I get that point, but you do know there's a new breed of Muslims. And by the way, I mean, let's just be honest.
I'm supposed to. Sorry, guys. You're right. I'm supposed to read the donor's name. The American Cuban. Sorry, guys. So somebody says like when you read the super chat, you're supposed to say the donation person's
That's
name.
Susanna telling you off, of course.
No, that is the American Cuban is actually reminding me. The same person that sent the super chat is reminding.
Okay, good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Good. The American Cuban is like, come on, man. Sorry, the American Cuban.
Sorry.
Yes.
I apologize.
So,
but go on.
No, but I'm just so there's a new sector. There's a growing movement within Islam where people say, and by the way, he's not Scottish First Minister, does not belong to that, but he's kind of pretending to be because he's a politician. He has to navigate through it very carefully. And he was asked a question whether being gay is a sin or not. He's like, no. Come on, it is. Like there's a consensus, universal consensus on that. However, that is changing. My point is they're hiding behind interpretation. Homosexuality is not prescribed punishment. There's no prescribed punishment for that, but yeah, you could say that it's still a sin, though. The Quran does say it's a sin. It's a sin. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Fair enough. But it's still. But isn't that ironic, though? Hamza Yousaf seems like a much more decent human being, and they are throwing him under the bus. He's saying, no, I'm a Muslim. I am proud to be a Muslim. You should celebrate me being a Scottish Prime Minister, the First Minister, But here is this guy, Andrew Tate. Bitches, I own them all. Yeah.
You know why it seems you know why it seems ridiculous, Harris?
Yeah, because obviously being that's right.
No, because Islam is ridiculous. Okay, so here's the thing: you could actually, as a Muslim, commit genocide. Okay, and be like, "Yeah, I sinned." You could kill 1 million people and be like, "That was a sin. I'm a Muslim," and
but it might not even be a sin under Islam.
No. Let's say that you killed the wrong people. Okay, you killed all the wrong people. Okay,
you killed good people. You killed good people.
You killed good Muslim children. Okay, you killed good Muslim children. 1 million of them.
It did really bad.
Yeah, really bad. And you're like, okay, that was a sin. I sinned. Okay, you are still a Muslim.
Yes.
However, you could drink a tiny little bit of wine, just a small cup of wine. All right. Just a taste. Just a sip. You didn't even finish the entire glass. Just a sip. And you say like, that wasn't a sin. That was just a sip. That was just one sip. It was a sin. You're out. You're eternal hellfire for you. Eternal hellfire.
And let's just explain the logic behind that for people. Basically, you're denying the actual literal word of God. That's what you're denying. So the Quran says that homosexuality is a sin. There's a Quranic verse that says, "Oh, you guys are transgressors. Those of you who lust over men rather than women, surely you are the transgressor, or one of the transgressors, something like that." So the Quran says that in black and white, and then it actually tells you the whole story of Prophet Lot. So So yeah, and then this Scottish person. So if you say no, that's not a sin. Well, you've basically denied God's direct word. It's not something that is open to interpretation or anything. So yeah. Okay, let's
This is
move
a
on.
very good comparison, by the way. These two people together, Andrew Tate with Hamza Yousaf. So that's
But you're right. The reason why Hamza Yousaf is sounding more reasonable because and a decent person is because he's going further away from Islam. That's true.
Yeah. Like he seems like a decent guy. Yeah, because he's not taking Islam seriously. That's why he seems like a decent person. All right. All right. Let's go to the next person. Rakshith. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Rakshith
Sridharan. Okay. Saying, thank you again for the super chat. Saying, Hindutva is Islamic ways of behavior employed for sake of Hindu gods, charlatans, and so-called sacred sites. This is the bitter truth. This is actually more true than some people realize. Some people might say, oh, Hindutva is just an Islamic methodology. People might just think that you say that just as a way to attack Hindutva, but it's actually
true.
Really copied from Islamic methodology. Like that is not like us just dissing Hindutva. Yeah.
When we started this, Hindus used to say there's no such thing as Hindu blasphemy, but now we're saying more and more Hindus are claiming protection of their sacred figures. They went after you for blaspheming Kali Ma. But when we started that, they used to say, well, there's no blasphemy in Hinduism. You can say whatever you want about our religion. We don't mind that. Now they come after you over so many other violence as well. Like, okay, well, like you have to respect our religion, or, we have to protect our religion, blah, blah, blah. So there are a lot of behaviors that they're emulating Muslims, radical Muslims. So this is why I gave them a nickname. They are Hindu Taliban. They are Hindu Taliban. They're behaving like Hindu Taliban.
Right.
And Hindu Jihad.
Somebody just came up. Did you give the link to somebody? I haven't posted a link.
Yes, it's on my Patreon. I think I just gave that.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Guys, so if you want to come up, you could actually become a patron on Harris Sultan's Patreon account. And then you could come and talk to us live on there as well. That's nice. Okay, so if we have people coming up, we have to go through the super chats faster because we also just got a new super chat coming in. So we have to go through these.
Let's go with Rakshit again. So because I think it's the same thing. So I'm saying, please type online Bhagavad Gita 932, Manusmriti 211, Manusmriti 8369, okay, and show these verses. Okay, I don't think we're gonna have time to go through all of them. We're gonna have to look them up, but I think do you have time to quickly look them up?
Well, that's a lot of verses.
Yeah, that's a lot of verses.
We pick one of them?
Yeah, just pick one of them.
Let's do the Gita. Let's do the Gita.
932. Okay.
932.
Bhagavad Gita. 932.
Yes.
Okay.
And then after that, we go to Doorknob, his super chat.
Okay. This one says, all those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, or caste, even those whom society scorns, will attain their supreme destination. So I guess this is kind of like a reward. Is that what it is? Let's just go further into it. Is this the right translation? There's nothing. Okay. All those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, or caste. Okay, this seems pretty egalitarian here. Even those whom society scorns, like even they've been shunned away by the society, will attain supreme destination. So basically, follow me and you'll be successful.
It sounds very Jesus-y. Just accept me and very Jesus-y.
Very Islami as well. No? Okay, let's try Manusmriti 2.11.
No, because it's like it's more of a refuge in a person, like accepting salvations of Jesus Christ. Just accept Jesus and everything will be fine. It's faith-based rather than command-based. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So it's like a lot more, that part is a lot more like Christianity than Islam.
Okay, what about okay, we're just going to quickly check this one. If a twice-born person, now who the hell is he? Relying upon the science of dialectics, should disregard these two sources. He should be cast out by good men, the detractors of the Veda, being an infidel. Oh, okay, so he should be exiled, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, this is both Islam and Christianity. Okay, so the second part is a lot like Islam. Okay, but the twice born part is a lot like born again in Christianity, right? So twice born. So the Aryans, the people who are accept the Veda and everything, they're born again in Hinduism, just like they are when you accept Jesus in Christianity. So the twice born. You know, the concept of born again in Christianity. That's very much like you have in Hinduism. Yeah. So yeah, very much alike. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Here's
a doorknob head.
Doorknob head. Do you want to read this one?
Bite. Behavior control, information control, thought control, emotional control. It's all for Armin. Long live the cult of secular jihadists. So you control people's behavior, information, thought control, emotional control too. That's very manipulative of you.
How do I do that?
I don't know.
I am. I'm very impressed if I am doing all of those things at the same time.
You're proud of
that. Thank you for the.
Okay, I really want to talk about Hamza Yousaf. I want to get it out of the way. Let's just talk about this. So, as you guys know, Scotland has elected their first Muslim First Minister, which is kind of equivalent of Prime Minister, but it's not, because the Prime Minister of the UK is Rishi Sunak, and whoever's the Prime Minister of England is the Prime Minister of the UK. So this is a top job of Scotland. And he has come on the grounds of this separatist claim, which is very popular amongst a lot of Scottish people. So he said that I'm the guy. If you want us to get independence from the UK, then I'm the guy. And he had a couple of other people he was competing against. There was one lady, and there was another guy from SNP party, and then he won. Okay. There's a lot of people have been making. Okay, I'll make the point when Armin comes back. So a lot of Pakistanis started to Armin, come back. Okay. So, did you actually see them see this joke, by the way, where a lot of Pakistanis and Indians were celebrating this coincidence of history, that there's an Indian is a leader of England, a Pakistani is a leader of Scotland, and now they're going to divide Britain. Isn't that amazing?
That is beautiful.
and guess what? The Prime Minister of Ireland is also half Indian, by the way. He's actually gay and half Indian. But anyway, so a lot of people, Pakistanis, were celebrating him. They were like, "Yeah, our guy is in there." And let me open it up. Somebody made a very good tweet as well about this, and
I like how the people who are there celebrating end up being liberals. You know,
So this tweet went viral, and it was doing rounds on Pakistani WhatsApp and all these groups, and said Scotland, after becoming a part of the global Islamic Caliphate for 2 days, now it has been excommunicated. Why? Because people like Dr. Mufti Yasir Nadeem Wajdi, he said, this guy Hamza Yousaf believes that gay marriage is not a sin in Islam. Stop calling him the first Muslim Prime Minister of Scotland. Islam is very clear about gay marriage. So obviously a lot of Muslims started condemning him. Muhammad Hijab has condemned him as well. He's like, you're finished. You're not a Muslim. You've sold yourself out. 5 Pillars UK wrote a very interesting piece as well, and that was very funny as well, how they were crying about it. They were saying, okay, so let's just see what Hamza Yousaf's stance is on gay marriage. So have a listen to this.
Minister of the 3 of us on this panel. If somebody is from an LGBT community, they need to be able to look at that First Minister in the eyes, and they need to believe that that individual isn't just going to tolerate them, but is going to celebrate them. And for me, that is at the crux and the heart of the issue. That we always talk about celebrating diversity. If we mean that, then it's not about tolerating. It's not just about protecting people's rights. It's about advancing people's rights. And for me, that is what I will do if I'm the First Minister of this country.
So that's a decent video, and a lot of people knew that he was a Muslim, and obviously being a Muslim. I mean, even being a brown man, well done, Hamza Yousaf, for actually reaching the top job. I was happy for Rishi Sunak. I'm happy for Hamza Yousaf as well, knowing that as long as he respects these Western secular humanist values, if you respect that, even fair enough, whatever views you hold. I know Richard Dawkins used to say that, well, no, we should always challenge people on the private beliefs as well, especially a politician. But I'm like, okay, fine. You know what? As long as you don't, bring in your religion in legislation. So this is how he answered that. So a lot of people, so people like Hamza Yousaf, they have been pushed on this question a lot, and there was no way out. Imagine if he had said, no, to me it's a sin, he would have been like, no. So he tackled this question a lot more cleverly around here. Listen to this.
Clear on this. Do you think that gay sex is a sin?
Oh, look, I've answered this question time and time and time and time again. No matter how many times, Sophie, you ask the question, I believe in equal marriage. I believe that people's marriage, if they are gay and they are married, that their marriage is no less, is no more inferior or less, is worth less than my marriage as a heterosexual individual. So no, I don't subscribe to that view. I think it's fine, by the way, I should say, for people to have their own personal faith. I don't think that we should bar anybody from office for having their personal faith. In fact, I'm Muslim. I practice my faith. I'll be fasting on Ramadan in a few weeks' time, for example. The difference I have is that I don't use my faith as the basis for legislating. I don't think that's what people want their legislators to do. They want their legislators to do what is in the best interests of the country, and I will continue that progressive agenda that Nicola Sturgeon has started and has built over the last 8 years under her First Minister, under her leadership as First Minister. I'll continue to do that, and that will help to grow support for independence.
You say there that you don't allow your personal faith to impact legislation, and you say very clearly there that you think that equal marriage is something that's important and something that you fully back. The question was, do you believe that gay sex is a sin?
No. If I can just be clear about that, that's not.
Okay.
It's not.
That's where he messed up. But
that's it. See, first of all, this lady knows what she's doing, okay? Because look, he didn't answer the question.
He cleverly dodged it.
Yeah, he tried to dodge it. Okay, and look how this lady is a professional. I don't know how much she's praying here. They need to double it, whatever it is. Okay, so she said, "Do you think it's a sin?" He said, "I'm okay with it. I think I have my own religion. I don't think you should use your religion to tell people what to do. I'm a Muslim." Blah blah blah. She had not answered she has not asked any of those questions that you're answering. She asked if you personally think it's a sin. So instead of, me not being a professional, I would be like, that wasn't my question. You didn't answer the question. And that would start a fight. But she's smarter than me. She says, like, she repeated the things she understood. So see how professional she is, right? So instead of telling the person that you didn't answer the question, she very calmly said, these are the things that I got from you based on what you said, right? So that he doesn't have to repeat those things. Because if she didn't clarify what I understood to dodge the question, he would just go on and saying those things. But she already confirmed that I understood these things, okay? And then instead of saying you didn't answer my question, the question was, so it's a more subtle way of saying you didn't answer my question. The question was, and that's in that way, it was like checkmate. She did not leave him any more wiggle room to not answer the question. So he had to say no. And by just clearly answering that he doesn't think this is a sin, he just left the fold of Islam. So happy being an ex-Muslim, I congratulate you. This is not an Islamic takeover anymore. This is
It's an
an
ex-Muslim
takeover. One of us.
Yes, first ex-Muslim head of a state.
The same way 25 times. So I can't change what's in certain faiths. I can't change what's in scripture. What I can tell you is the approach that I will take.
This is interesting, isn't it? He's actually first says, no, it's not a sin. And then he knows, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for that. And then he says, I can't change what's in the scripture. So he knows that he confirmed that. So he didn't even hide behind that. No, according to my interpretation, gay sex is fine. You can fuck anyone you want up the bum. He did say that. So listen to this, man.
Certain faith.
This is a smile of a win. Look at it. Look at the cheeky smile.
You're right. That's
okay. Yeah, but I'm listen to this.
Lady was said you deserve that smile. Good job.
But listen to this. He actually confirmed it.
I can't change what's in scripture. What I can tell you is the approach that I will take, which is that I will not allow personal faith to be the basis of legislation.
There you go. Which is an honorable position to take, but obviously it's not acceptable to our fellow Muslims. People like Muhammad Hijab, they've done takfir on him. Look at this. He's saying the First Minister of Scotland, Hamza Yousaf, is not a Muslim, but a clear-cut disbeliever. And guess what, Armin? Guess what? A lot of Muslims are actually pushing back against Muhammad Hijab. There are a lot of tweets that I saw. People were like, hey, brother, you can't really do this takfir, on people.
You
and
can.
If you start doing takfir on this, then we can start doing takfir on other things as well. But I know you've made a clear point, and I agree with you. But it says, okay, you can't takfir someone on that basis and you don't have the mandate to takfir someone. On the authority of Ibn Umar Abu Hurairah, that the Prophet Muhammad said, if a man says to his brother, "Oh kafir," then it returns to one of them. Yeah, but
no. Okay, so this is what these people don't understand, that Muhammad Hijab is actually more knowledgeable about. No, go back up.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
What about this? No. So he doesn't understand. So he's kind of right, but also wrong, okay? Because even if somebody says that a sin is not a sin, they have left the fold of Islam, you still require somebody, a scholar, to come announce it. But you just showed me a tweet that somebody did, a mufti did announce it, right? So you have to wait for somebody to come and say something like that. But once a mufti gives you the green light, then you're all good. And people are saying you can't takfir somebody. I mean, technically, the Khariji thing to do is if he sinned, but he did more than sinning. So yeah, we already explained this. So these people don't understand Islam as much as Muhammad Hijab does. So they're wrong. Muhammad Hijab is correct.
No, we're going to have a separate segment, so just quickly explain that. So you can commit sin and remain a Muslim, albeit you'll be labeled as a fasik or a bad Muslim. Someone who's sinful, like, oh yeah, I drink, I gamble. Yes, I understand, but this is a sin. I understand I'm disobeying my Allah. But what you can't do is that you cannot say that it's not a sin. So in that case, you're actually defying Allah's order. So in that case, takfir can be done. And takfir can only be done by a mufti, who actually, apparently there's a whole process behind that. But anyway, but Dr. Mufti Wajdi, he's just said this guy, Hamza Yousaf, believes that gay marriage is not a sin in Islam. Stop calling him the first Muslim PM of Scotland. Islam is very clear. Right. And I also asked him, I said, so does that mean he's an ex-Muslim Mufti? He hasn't responded to me. One of us. I tagged, I think I've been trolling. I tagged, by the way, Armin, is something else as well. There's something else you need to know. So not only, this is not the only thing that he's done to piss off Muslims, and this is why I said that he's actually a very decent human being. This is the part I wanted to talk about. So back in 2010, a Scottish Pakistani went to Pakistan, said something, claimed prophethood, and then he was arrested for blasphemy, sentenced to death in Pakistan, and he was now awaiting his death penalty. Hamza Yousaf at that point was just a senator or parliamentarian or something, because he's a Pakistani. He was asked by the Scottish government to to negotiate or to somehow beg Pakistan to let him go. And guess what? Thanks to Hamza Yousaf's efforts, Pakistan did release him back in 2016 or 2015. They released him. He came back to Scotland and he died in 2017. But his family told Hamza Yousaf, do not take any credit for it because you are always a marked man, right? So you are always a marked man. Now, when he was going for this top job, a lot of people started spreading rumors. People started spreading rumors that, oh, this guy was absent from this gay marriage vote, which he was, but he had already voted. So it was just, I don't know what was the reason. So he maybe he didn't want to piss off his community too much, but he had already voted in favor. So Hamza, that's fine. Well done. It's okay. And also there's some people started accusing him, and I fell victim to that false information, and that's why initially I condemned him. But then I found out about this story. So his family, Muhammad Asghar, the alleged blasphemer guy, his lawyers and his family came out, and now they thanked him for helping Muhammad Asghar come back come back to Scotland. And Asghar family released statement on Hamza Yousaf's role, and they had asked him to stay quiet because had he claimed credit for it, then that guy Muhammad Asghar would have been hunted down in Scotland or whatever. You know how this thing works. So my point is, he's such a decent guy. He didn't even claim any credit for it, and his opponents were accusing him of not doing anything for Muhammad Asghar. So they were saying you're a blasphemy sympathizer as well. Oh, so you're an anti-blasphemer as well. So it's like, no, I'm not. Well, but he couldn't say it, so his family came out. So he's an anti. So he helped a blasphemer escape, and he's also a pro-LGBTQ. So all in all, yeah, he's a good guy. This photo that I showed, that initially did rounds all across the Muslim world. That look at this, he's so amazing, and it pissed off a lot of white nationalists. It pissed off a lot of, I'm sorry to say, it pissed off a lot of ex-Muslims as well. And I was like, come on, guys, just chill, okay? Like if he was a Christian doing some Christian ceremony, you would not have had trouble. So I get it, but just leave it. As long as he respects these Western secular humanist values, I don't care. I don't really care. So what's your take on that? What's your overall view on that?
Well, I mean, we can still, here's the thing. I think we can separate our criticism of people into different categories, right? I could still criticize him for him being a Muslim, but at the same time not make that criticism relative to my judgment of his work. So, for example, Richard Dawkins, I slightly disagree with Richard Dawkins here. Like, if politicians, if they have like stupid beliefs, I can criticize them, but like in a different category than when I'm evaluating their work in politics. So I think some people say that, oh no, we have to see their personal beliefs and use that to evaluate their politics. I mean, no, if I don't agree with that. If they are managing to create a barrier between them, then I think we could look at them separately. And then some other people, I think, go to the other end and say like, oh, let's not criticize their personal beliefs at all. No, I'm not going to withhold my criticism. I'm just going to criticize that separately from their political career, right? So,
yeah, I agree. As long as George W. Bush, I know, not a good example, but he believed in a lot of silly things as well. But that did not become a reason for him. Yeah, but there was
no wall. No, it did affect his politics.
No. I'm saying that nobody had a problem with making him the president, though, based on his personal belief. I'm sure a lot of atheists probably voted for him as well. I'm just saying. So I'm saying that should not be the reason. I guess it's impossible to say that.
No, I think it can be the reason.
It would be influenced.
If they're influenced.
No, I'm not saying that it won't be like it won't influence some judgment. I mean, George W. Bush said that God spoke in my ear to invade Iraq or something. He says
yeah.
He's the worst fucking president. But actually, yeah, I don't know. It's a close tie between Trump and Bush. But I'm saying. Yeah, he killed a lot more people. Yes, of course. Yeah, you're right. what was it saying? So so I was saying that just because he's a Muslim who believes in, probably privately believes in flying donkey and like all kind of wacky things, as long as he does not drag that in his legislation, which he's clearly said and promised, then that's fine. But I also believe these democracies are very strong. If he does cross a line, I think he'll be ousted anyway. So there's no. So those Muslims, a lot of Muslims are actually hoping, they were praying, oh Allah, I hope that he's doing a taqiyya. So, and he's made this, he's told this lie for the greater good, and the greater good is that taking over Britain and Scotland and stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question.
Should we quickly get this guy, see what he wants to say?
Oh yeah, let's bring him up.
Okay, let's just take that. Hello, Mera Bin Medikid. Yes. Hello. What would you like to say?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how
Hi,
are you?
hi.
Good.
How are you?
Good. I don't have any question right now, but Haris, I need to talk to you something personal. So, is there any way? It's the first time I'm entering the stream yard. I don't have any much experience either.
Okay, well, just send me a message on Patreon.
Patreon.
I'll see what I can do.
I think I did last week. So.
Okay, well, I can't. Okay, well, I'll have a look through. Okay, this is not the place to actually talk about personal stuff. Okay, so all right. Well, thank you for joining.
But look up his message. Mira, go spend time to find his message. Mira Pin.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'll have a look. Yeah, I'll have a look. Okay. All right. All right. So, what's the next question?
So the next question is about why aren't Muslims allowed to eat pork? Is there an actual reason to it?
A long story,
Yes.
and I think Armin, you probably know about it.
It's
actually been copied all the way from the Jewish tradition.
Judaism. Yeah? Exactly. That's not very. I was thinking what long story you're talking about, because it's a very short story. It's basically Islam used to be a Jewish cult, and then it evolved into a Jewish Christian cult, which then evolved to its own religion. Because it was a Jewish cult, that's why they weren't allowed to eat pork. Because in Judaism, you're not allowed to eat pork. That's basically it. But there's a good. The longer story is why Jews are not allowed to eat pork, and I think there's a really good video on this on the channel Religion for Breakfast. I think. The story has got to do with certain people who ate a lot of pork and used to be the enemies of the Israelites, and they associate themselves as the people who are not them. So that's why they saw eating pork as something bad. But I don't know if I am explaining it very well, but if you go to if you search for Religion for Breakfast and then pork, there's a video here. There's this video that would explain it to you while you're thinking about something here. This video right up here, right? So just search for Religion for Breakfast and pork. This video will explain why in Judaism not eating pork, how it came to Judaism, and then from there you get
copy paste.
That
is copy paste, and you got to understand why it's not just intellectual laziness, although it might be a big portion of that, but it also helps Muhammad make his central claim that the previous religions were also the religions of the same God. Which is Allah. Yahweh is Allah, and the Jewish God and the Christian God and Islamic God are the same. Although they contaminated the scripture. So here's the updated version, the Quran. So that's why he had to show that he had to adopt a lot of commandments from the Old Testament and the Bible. That helped his cause as well. So that's why when you tell Muslims that, hey, your Muhammad actually plagiarized, they say no, it's not plagiarism because it's the same God. So a lot of
Well, I mean, that's the official story. The true story is that Muhammad wasn't actually
an intellectual.
The actual historic person that his name eventually turned into Muhammad during the Umayyad and Abbasid period, he was not even claiming to be a prophet. He was just a warlord.
Well, I don't know.
That no, that is
That's a conspiracy theory. Come on.
no. This is completely academic now. It's completely
No.
academic. This has been studied.
No, what? You're going with Tom Holland, or you're going with Dan Barker, or who?
No.
Or
We
Patricia
have moved
Crone?
way past that. In the past 2 years, Harris, we have had so many academic studies. I will send them to you. We have moved Patricia Crone. That's old school. We have so much new information. But these are scholars from Stanford, from Harvard, from so many other places. Okay, it's almost proven beyond reasonable doubt. The guy's name was not even Muhammad. 90% of his stories are made up. It's I'm not saying there was no guy, but it's most of the stories were made
But
up.
the Quran mentions Muhammad twice.
No, the Quran mentions the name Muhammad four times. Four times.
Four times, yes.
And 3 of them is not referring to the Prophet of Islam necessarily. Muhammad is actually not a name. Muhammad is an adjective. Yeah, it's a title. And it was probably referring to Jesus based on what the information coming. Muhammad Rasulullah means praise be upon the Prophet of God, and the Prophet Muhammad means praise be, so it's Muhammad Rasulullah is praising the Prophet of God, and the Prophet of God here refers to Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You should look into the studies. This is actually getting a lot more solid than it used to be. It's pretty crazy. But
I still like to go by. What's the official narrative? Let's go by that.
Well, the official Islamic narrative. We could still we don't have to root for that narrative, because it's still the Islamic narrative. We could say according to Islamic narrative, and then we could criticize that. But the truth is that one thing that we know right now for almost certain is when the Arabs came out of Arabia and they invaded, they attacked Iran, the Sassanid dynasty and the Byzantine dynasty, and also captured Jerusalem. They were not Muslim at that time. Islam was something that was created a lot later, much later, starting in the Umayyad dynasty, but then completed in the Abbasid dynasty. Islam was not something that Muhammad started. Islam started a lot later. It started by Hajjaj ibn Yousaf and Malik ibn Marwan. These are the people who actually started gathering all the myths and legends and then canonizing it as something that we recognize as Islam today. So what the Arabs used to believe originally was a Judeo-Christian ideology, a heretic version of Christianity that was not accepted in the Byzantine Empire, which they didn't. It was a branch of Christianity that didn't believe Jesus is the Son of God. It only believed that Jesus was a prophet of God. This is why Islam has so much emphasis on Jesus not being the Son of God.
I've seen Barker, and I read Sword of Islam, not all of it, but I will definitely watch this documentary as well a few years ago. And I know you actually interviewed them as well. You and Ellie, and Patricia Crone as well. I don't know. I'm not, unless there's more to it. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think this is too big.
But yeah, Tom Holland and Patricia Crone, that's like we have moved in the past 2 years. We have moved way past that. You have no idea how much research has been done on this. It's crazy. It's mind blowing. It's growing so fast.
Send me some. Send me some. I need to read that. I think I owe my listeners at least that much.
Yeah. So guys, these are not just like bloggers and YouTubers or
these academics,
some bigots like Robert Spencer who are like in it against Islam. We're talking about not just academics. These are people that are well known in this field. These are leading academics in pre-Islamic Arabia. So these are not people that you could just dismiss as like crackheads. So yeah, I'll send you some links. You could look into it. It's pretty cool. These are the Bart Ehrmans. Oh, let me tell you something. Okay. Let me give you 2 information. Okay. Other religions, we had understanding of their history. They had an official narrative of their history. Okay. And whenever academics secular academics eventually got to it to see what actually happened, it never ended up being the actual history that they believed in it, the official history. So it wasn't true with Judaism. It wasn't true with Christianity. How likely it is that now with Islam, the actual narrative of what they have about their history is the true one.
It's never been
very
true about
unlikely.
anything either. Like even any history, like Roman history that was written by Romans, by Roman chroniclers.
Right.
A lot of that turned out to be BS as well. So you're right. I mean, we tend to think that contemporary history or history that's just come around about that time, those historians might be more accurate. But no, it seems more engineered and manufactured.
Also, the way religions start, right? If you look at all the other religions, there seems to be a method that they get started, right? And what we have with the Islamic narrative is unique and very different from how we know religions start. But now the new narratives are a lot more in line with what we understand how religions get started.
Ah, good, okay, all right. But
also, there's a 200-year gap. You know that.
Oh
part,
yeah,
right?
well, yeah, everyone knows that part.
Yeah.
There is a black hole. Even Tom Holland said that there's a big black hole in the middle that we don't know.
But the black hole is being filled very slowly. That's
really? But is there any archaeological evidence? I mean, I'm curious to know what's so new about it that you're talking about it. But is there any physical archaeological evidence?
Yeah.
Physical bits that they found.
Yeah,
I know there's coins that they found up.
Writings and stones and before there's even evidence of pre-Islamic Arabia about beliefs and how it's shaped. Like these things that Muhammad had, like this is, first of all, it didn't, the whole Allah thing didn't start in Arabia. It was a lot more north, right? And this whole praying towards the Kaaba and having a Kaaba was not in Mecca. It was like many different places that was happening. But this was not one person doing something. This was like a whole movement, slowly being developed by many people.
But someone was writing or reciting the Quran, though.
It wasn't the Quran. These were many different stories and narratives that were spread across a whole people in many different areas, right? So it wasn't one person, and again, it wasn't one book. These were not even recognized as one book. These were just stories that were spread in the community.
But then the writing style would have been different. Dialect would have been different. I know their qirats are different, but mainly more or less it's still pretty similar, though.
Yeah, because the person who is responsible for canonizing it and eliminating other things is not actually Osman. Okay, it's Malik ibn Marwan, the Umayyad Caliph, with the help of Hajjaj ibn Yousaf.
Well, what about Birmingham manuscript, and what about these other old manuscripts that they found? Is pretty much the same as it is today. I mean, they found the Quran.
Well, so that is the person who's responsible for making all that official and canonizing it and eliminating all the ones. That was not Osman. That happened a lot later. And in fact, we don't even know if there was.
No, but I'm saying that we have the current version of the Quran. The oldest one is from at least around the time Muhammad died. That's the latest time that they put it, to 650. I know it's not the whole Quran.
That's only a segment of the Quran.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, okay. and has two layers.
There's another one. What's the other one? There's another one that's a lot.
Actually, the oldest Qurans that we have are different from the Quran.
No, we don't.
Yeah, the oldest Qurans that we have is different from the Quran that we have today in major ways.
Not in major ways. Really?
Even if you go in the Dome of the Rock, the verses that you have in the Dome of the Rock is different from the Quran that you have today.
Okay, I'm gonna have to refresh my memory. I'm gonna have to look a little bit more into it again, because that doesn't a lot of that. I don't know. Okay, well, fair enough. Like, I mean, I would need a lot of convincing evidence, of course, because we all get shaped by our own biases, and it's difficult. But anyway, I don't have a faith issue.
I'm not making any claims here.
I know. You're telling me about what they're saying, but I'm just saying, you've read that. You read that more in detail, so obviously you've made up your mind. I'm just saying, I don't know. I can't make up my mind yet.
It's a bit. Here's the thing. This to me was like one of those moments when I lost belief in God, it's too much. It seems too much for it all not to be true. Do you know what I mean? So for us to be like, we believe in the story of Muhammad, with that he came as the Quran was, he had the Quran, he had the book, he did all his invasions, and now somebody coming us and telling us like, yeah, none of that actually happened. That is pretty intense.
I don't have any emotional problem with that. I'm okay with that. Like, I mean, with hadiths, I've always taken it as a pinch of salt. With hadiths, I always say that, yeah, somebody was making them up. Somebody wanted to say that, we need to attack this village, so therefore let's create a hadith. Hey, I heard Muhammad say this, so therefore it gives me a pretext to attack this town or whatever. Like, I get that. But I'm saying but the Quranic narrative is pretty strong. A lot of people, like, my understanding was like even the Quran has been pretty consistent from 650 or 660 AD onwards. It's been pretty consistent. And the Quran is not the whole of Islam, but it's still it's still in line with the Hadith. Like, I mean, it looks like it's the same ideology.
It actually the ideology shifted significantly. If you actually look at the history of what Arabs believed in, right? It got very canonized very fast, but the pre-Umayyad belief system of what the Arabs had was actually significantly different from the post Malik ibn Marwan ideology, and it was unrecognizable to us, like, as Islam. If you actually go and look at what the Arabs seem to believe in before the Umayyad dynasty and Abbas, it was during the Abbasid dynasty that Islam eventually becomes into something that we recognize as Islam today. But if you look at what actually, like, if you go look at the writings of Arabs and how they prayed and what they referred to, first of all, they didn't seem to even know that they have a prophet named Muhammad, right, in their prayers or in their recitations of the things, right? They have completely forgotten. For a couple of decades, the Arabs seem to have forgotten that their prophet was Muhammad. They keep on mentioning angels and God, but not Muhammad. So that's bizarre. There was no mention of the Quran, no mention of a book for a couple of decades. For Arabs, for the religion to have to be Islam, and them having all their writings, not a single time mentioning the Quran or Muhammad, it seems insane. It seems pretty insane. That's right. So I will send you some things that we could actually discuss this maybe after you look.
Yeah, well, I need to read more of that. How about? Oh, jeez, where is it? I thought I had it. I wanted to show you something. Hang on.
I have some things to show if you want.
No, I have something funny to show. So, people say that Ramadan brings people closer. Ramadan is good. It increases brotherhood and blah, 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 all that kind of jizz. Have a look at this. Look at this. They're just going at it.
That's the spirit of Ramadan.
That's the spirit of Ramadan. Oh, yeah.
So festive. What happened here? Why are people fighting?
Well, you ate my pakora. You ate my samosa. Bagar this.
Why would each other fight in Ramadan? That doesn't seem right.
That's against the spirit of Ramadan, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe they're hungry. Maybe that's you get them. Actually, it is. Actually, it is within the spirit of Ramadan for people to be cranky. Really? I remember that. How? People are like, people are like, it's Ramadan. Don't mess with me. Like, people be hungry and they're cranky. When you don't eat, you get cranky.
True. Exactly. Hey. Okay. Now, I'm not the one to peddle conspiracy theories or anything, but look at this. Where's my profile? I shared this, okay? Apparently, someone alerted me to it, that there are some people, they have, certain cities have experienced, it was initially, obviously, every study or every motivation for a study begins with an urban legend, yeah? So there is a common belief amongst people now. People have noticed that during Ramadan, a lot more people die. Like we see an increase in deaths, okay? and that includes accidental deaths, and that also includes deaths from dehydration and extreme climates. Where is it? Let me show you. So there was this study that I saw. Now I know this is not a conclusive study because there's only one study and the sample size is probably not that big. But where is it? Come on, I thought I had it. Oh gee, I think I lost it. I'm gonna show you. Anyway, don't worry about it. Anyway, so there was this study. I'll find it next time. But in the meantime, though, while you're at it, I wanted to show you something funny. Are you happy to ready to say hello?
Oh yeah, I saw this.
What is he worshipping? Like, why are people? Why is Abdullah Samim, showing eggplant and what? I don't get it. I don't get it. What's going on? So there is a minaret and there's a gumbad. What is that called in that dome thing? That's fine.
Yeah,
What's wrong with that? I don't know. So and he's worshipping it. That's fine. What's wrong with that?
Why?
Hey, Biden.
Why would people design this? Like, did the person designing this not think like did they not look at it and be like, oh, wait a second?
It's so funny and hilarious that it almost looks like that the artist did a practical joke on them. What's the other minaret?
Well, here's the question: do you think the person who did the question was being? That took the picture was being cheeky? Do you think they were being cheeky?
Oh yeah, he was definitely being cheeky. He was like, "Oh, screw this."
So I'm assuming the guy in the mosque is taking the picture is a Muslim as well. So the guy was like, so he's taking a picture, making fun of this while being a Muslim.
He's definitely saying, "Oh well, you know what? I'm going for it." He's like, why?
He's probably thinking, "I'm going to hell for this, but it's worth it."
a lot of Muslims do those jokes. I've seen a lot of those videos where people are just doing this hilarious jokes in a mosque. Where someone is going down and then they're like, "Haha." Have a look at this one. What about this one?
Wait. Look at it. Troll is saying, I guess Muslims now have a Shiva Lingam equivalent. Yeah. That's true.
There you go. That's another Shiva Lingam.
Wow.
Look at this. That's another Shiva Lingam. No,
why would they do this?
But that one required a certain angle, though. I think if you looked at it from a different angle, it might not look like that. But you make
the top.
Yeah. There's no getting away. There's no getting away from it. That definitely looks like a dick. This bit. I mean, it's a circumcised one. Look, there's the circumcision scar too. But I don't know about these balls though. These balls are a bit.
The balls are pointy. You gotta get those checked.
Yeah,
they're too pointy to people. They should make them more round.
And there's no fur around that.
It's clean and shaven.
So you're right. I don't know why they do this, but I wanted to share that with you. Something else as well, very quickly. Hang on, where is it? What was it? Well, where was it? So we've seen some videos of Muslims giving azan or call to prayer in front of the Parliament House in Britain over River Thames, and then also we've seen that in Germany. And they love to do it. They love to create a spectacle. It's like these Westerners, they don't get it. This is more of a we've got this. That's the meaning behind it. They don't get it. But Muslims love to do it. I guess in those cases, they had prior permission given to them by the relevant authorities. So I don't know if there's been a prior permission given or not. Either way, this is wrong. And they should stop doing it. They did that at Lord's Cricket Ground a couple of years ago when Pakistan went to England and they played against England. They played a cricket match. And then a Maulvi went there and he gave this adhan, and all the silly white folks are like, "Oh, look how beautiful this is." Yes, I hate it. You don't have to, just because it's foreign and ethnic, you don't have to say, "Oh, this is so beautiful." No, say, "Well, stop this shrieking. My ears are bleeding." So listen to this. I mean, they're doing that again. Open iftar at a football stadium. Listen to this guy. And he's giving this Adhan. And look at these poor people. They're like,
what?
They're like, what the hell, man? Like, why are you doing? But Armin, but look at this. This guy is filming it. So this guy started filming it, and he's like, "Yep, Uncle Chacha, you're gonna go and do this, and we're gonna rub it in their faces. We're gonna rub it in their faces."
This is the Senate trying to dominate.
Yes, this is what it is. It's domination. It's a sign of domination.
They're trying to dominate, yeah.
And these kind of videos are played across Pakistani social media. All these Muslim countries' media and social medias. Look at this brave man. He's giving a call to prayer, surrounded by infidels, in the heart of infidels. That's how they portray it. And I'm like, you stupid mofos. You know, he's not ballsy. He's only doing it because these people are way too tolerant. They're allowing you to do it. If they didn't allow you to do it, the Chacha would be like, sorry, I would never do this again. Please let me live here. Let me take my welfare check and I'll be fine. But this propaganda, I mean, white people, they need to wake up. They need to stop this. Be kind, be polite. That's good. Because, you know, like we want them to be polite to us and our family members as well. But please don't let them pull these freaking stunts. This is a sign of domination. I mean, this is like you. There was a Saudi Gazette that said something very similar. I'll have to find that. But anyway, yeah, you just comment that. I'll try to find that. Yeah. So look at this. This is what's happening, and they're so happy and they're so proud of it. Saudi Gazette.
Wait, I was my mic was
yeah, you were on mute. Sorry. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
mute. I thought you didn't want to say anything. Okay, yeah. Let me quickly finish this, and then share your thoughts on this. Look at this. Muslim London, 423 new mosques, 100 Sharia courts. This is Saudi Gazette. Britain has been acquiring an increasingly Islamic face, with hundreds of official Sharia courts operating in the capital and many mosques dotting many cities. London is more Islamic than many Muslim countries put together. Maulana Sayyid Raza Rizvi, an Islamic preacher, was quoted saying, "Terrorists cannot stand London's multiculturalism." London Mayor Sadiq Khan said after the deadly terror attack at Westminster last year. The 423 new mosques in London. Jeez, man, like I've been there. I'm like, 423 mosques? I'm actually surprised that there are 423 mosques, let alone their new 423 new mosques. Yeah. So, look, we can't do anything about it because this is a Western value that you're free to believe in whatever religion you want to believe. That's fine. But please do not let them shriek this, give them this call to prayer. This is, I don't want to hear it. Nobody else wants to hear it. This is not beautiful. This is not pretty. And they're not doing it for the sake of art. They're doing that to rub it in their faces. What do you think, Armin?
No, okay, so I don't think that's the type of tolerance that you're supposed. That's not. So when we say tolerate, we tolerate people's beliefs. You don't tolerate. This is actually not in line with liberalism to accept that. People are like, oh, we have to accept that because we're liberals. No. Liberalism means that they get to believe in what they want. It doesn't mean that they could force their beliefs upon you. So when you can't refuse to not hear that Adhan, that is you being harassed. That is something that is being forced upon you. That is something that you are hearing without opting into hearing it. That can be considered to be a crime. It's a harassment. So don't be like, oh, we have to accept this because we're liberals and we have to be tolerant. No, us being liberals and tolerant means that if you want to be a Muslim, you can be a Muslim, but you can't force your Islam upon me. That guy was clearly forcing his Islam upon other people. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Can I add one more thing? Just one more thing on that. Look at this. So they're going above and beyond. You know, like this is near Piccadilly Circus.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
Pretty.
But I'm just saying, like, you can't help but notice this ridiculous behavior from a lot of Muslims. Actually, okay, we can't really put a number whether they're a lot or most or minority, majority. We can't really. Let's just go by a lot of Muslims, okay? Because that doesn't say majority or minority. Look at this. Are Muslims? This guy runs 5 pillars. Are Muslims getting a little bit too excited by these Ramadan lights in London? Okay, it's a positive gesture, but a very easy one to do too. I would rather have no lights, but be treated as an equal citizen of this country and not be subject to constant discrimination. What constant discrimination these guys are constantly playing at? There's discrimination. There might be, racism or whatever. You can always complain about it. Again, a lot of, to me, I think a lot of that is in the eye of the beholder kind of thing.
I know,
but yeah.
I know. You know what I think is happening here? I think these people. This I'm guessing here. I don't know for this for sure. Okay, this is just a guess. But I think these people don't like how these Muslims don't like how mainstream Islam is becoming. They prefer to be the underdogs because they want to be the victims, right? It's kind of like being it's kind of like it's not cool anymore to be a Muslim if it's becoming this common to accept Islam, it's kind of like hipsterish Islam, I guess,
because they can't mobilize people. They can't say, hey, look, we are victimized, let's gather together under this hardcore version of Islam.
Identity. They have built an identity about being the underclass that is oppressed, right? So if you have Islam being celebrated like this, like so capitalistically, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, now we're the mainstream. How could we be the underdog? What happens to my underdog identity that I built when Islam is being celebrated so much like this? So it's using so it's just reminding people that, guys, this message to me says that, guys, this might look like we're being accepted, but we're not accepted. This is just cover. So that's what he's trying to say.
But also, do you think that's also could be because that shows them, hey, hang on a second, they are corrupting our minds, the minds of our youth, and they are kind of watering down Islam as well. Because Hakikachi made a very similar. He made a similar tweet as well. He's like, no, you know what Hakikachi said? Hakikachi said on the same streets, on the same poles, they hanged LGBTQ flags as well. So we would rather have you not do it at all if you're going to hang LGBTQ flags
this is why I support this. Okay.
Yeah, I support this too.
A lot of people look at this picture, like especially a lot of anti-Muslim bigots. They were like, "Oh no, this is like bad. This is actually good, right?" That guy like yelling, this is the commercialization of Islam, right? This
watering down of Islam. This is watering down of Islam.
This is what doing to Ramadan what capitalism did to Christmas, right? So this is moving in the process of secularizing. Yeah,
I'm gonna write it down. You've come up. Did you get inspired by that? This is doing internet is doing to Islam what printing press did to Christianity. Did you get inspired by that? This is pretty good. I'm gonna trademark it. I'm gonna trademark it.
Well, this goes back to what I have been saying for a while, because I have tried to separate two things that could happen to Islam. One is reform, the other one is secularization, right? So reform is bad, secularization is good, and a lot of people might think that they're similar, but they're actually the polar opposite. Oh, you're gonna do this right now? Okay, I'll wait for you because I want you to pay attention to this.
I'm listening. I can do two things. Okay. All right. Let's just make a joke. This is doing to Ramadan what capitalism did to Christmas. I'm gonna quote it. Okay, I'll screw this. I don't want to plagiarize in front of. I don't want to plagiarize in front of everyone now. There you go.
Okay. So let me actually explain this. Okay. So, I'm against Islamic reform. I'm against reforming Islam. I'm against reforming any religion, but I am very much for secularizing religion. What's the difference? Reform, as we understand it, tries to maintain the belief system, maintain faith in the religion, while changing the exterior. So as modernization happens, a lot of values, a lot of the image of religious values seem unappealing to society. So in an attempt to keep the core of Islam or to keep the core of a religion, you change the exterior so that you can maintain the belief system, you can maintain the faith in the religion, right? I am against that because I am against the core. Reform is a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism to save the religion. So as somebody who's against the religion, you have to disarm this defense mechanism. Secularization is the exact opposite of reform. Secularization is what keeps part of the exterior and removes the core. What is the core? It's the belief, right? So think about rituals. So what a lot of secular Jews and even atheist Jews have done that very successfully. And many Hindu atheists, for example, they have done the tradition, they do the rituals, they do everything, but they don't actually believe in the religion, right? So, because think about it, as an atheist who is against religion, what is our main problem? Is our problem the rituals, or is our problem the belief? Because if you don't actually have the faith in the God or the prophet or the scripture as true, then the rituals itself are just fun activities. The only part of the behavior that becomes dangerous is the behavior that is based on true faith in God. So because if you don't have the true faith in God, you only keep the rituals that are fun, that are community building, but not necessarily that are not dangerous. Because why would you do harmful things if it's not based on faith? So the belief system, it's very difficult for people to leave the belief system because of some warm fuzzy feelings that they get out of religion. And the warm fuzzy feelings that come out of religion that you could still have without the faith is either the rituals or the community. So a lot of us who have left religion, what we don't understand, a lot of us atheists have this misunderstanding that the way to get people out of religion is through logical reasoning. This is based on this misunderstanding because the people like us who always try to adjust our belief system so that it matches reality the best, think that other people are motivated to do the same. They don't understand that belief system for most people is not really about understanding reality. It's a signal to the outside world about their identity and who they are and where they belong to. Rituals and community, it's about what group of people I am with, and the rituals about signaling that, all right? So given that that's the main utility of religion, then you should realize then telling people that their belief system doesn't match reality is not going to affect that many people about leaving the religion, because you misunderstood the utility of religion. So given that people require the community and require the rituals, if you could let them maintain that without having the belief system. So if you tell people to leave Islam, you have to stop doing the rituals and you have to give up on the community, you have made the attempt of leaving religion a lot more difficult. But if you allow another way, because maybe I didn't need the community, I didn't need the rituals, but that doesn't mean others don't. Other people do, right? So if you allow them to keep the community, still be in the Muslim community while they leave Islam, still identify themselves as a cultural Muslim or a cultural Christian or a cultural Jew. What does that mean, a cultural Muslim? It means I don't believe, but culturally I'm still associated with those people. And still maintain Christmas, do the Jewish rituals, or do Ramadan. That will make the process of leaving religion a lot easier. And that's why the secularization of these rituals means that more people would enjoy it, and it becomes something that is about festive. It makes it festive, and more non-Muslims could take part as well. See, like how with Christmas, many non-Christians take part. So it becomes disassociated with the faith. Yeah.
Okay, so it becomes a step of it. Like I know, like I've heard you on this reform thing for a very long time, and I know this, and a lot of people don't agree with you, and I'm one of them. And I always said this. This is how I looked at it, and I agree with most of it. So the secularization is different. And when you also say, so you're not reforming Islam, you're reforming Muslims. I get that, but I've always said it. Maybe we can't really look at it in such a binary way. So we say, okay, so there are atheists that, or ex-Muslims, they're just completely eating away this Islam. And then there's these reformers that come in and they're weakening Islam, and they're giving up their own warm, fuzzy version of Islam. We see a lot of these people. And I think now we see that now there's so many of these Muslims who are these lipstick Muslims, I call them. They are very dogmatic about their belief in God, but they are okay with LGBTQ and everything. They're very dogmatic. Again, like I'm only going by what we can see on social media. Then there are obviously hardcore, real traditional Muslims like hijabs and Ali Dawas and all those. But every lipstick woman or man you see, you know, like with fancy hair or whatever, like metrosexual dude, he's like, well, for crying out loud, we have homosexuals who say we're Muslims and I believe firmly in God. Now that argument, when you were so hawkish towards the reform thing, and then you say you're a reform Muslim, and I get that too. That also happens. So I think that's still a one step closer towards becoming atheist. And as you said, that it becomes easier if you become secular, and then you're just a cultural Muslim. That's fine. Nobody cares about that. Then you're just an atheist. Like nobody cares. I shared a Pew study with you where I think we share. What did I share? I think 7% of Indian Muslims were did not believe in God, but they call themselves Muslims because they are in India and they feel pressure to use that identity. So they are actually cultural Muslims. So your analogy fits there, but there's still a lot of people. Yeah, but there's still a lot of people, Armin, who say that I firmly believe in God, but I think it's not my place to judge a homosexual, or even some people even go as far as now they're accepting transgender as well. So my point is, and I'm going to finish that with that example, that people like, for example, Hamza Yousaf, new First Minister of Scotland. Isn't he an amazing thing? Like, this is why Five Pillars wrote this piece, and they were so angry, they were so upset with him, that you are making yourself look like a reasonable one and a polite one and a civilized one, while you make us, Five Pillars guy, you make us look like the radical one or the crazy extremist one. Yes, they are pissed off. They don't like it. Look at the screams of these guys. It says here also. So in the eyes of the non-Muslim, it is not really clear that what Muslims believe at all. In fact, Hamza Yousaf may appear as the more relatable, normal one, whilst the rest of us look like the crazy ones or appear as extremists. And he said his proclamation of being a proud Muslim, and at the same time expressing views such as
of the free.
Oh, sorry. I'm hearing this guy. Sorry, did you do that? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. So it says there's nothing wrong with LGBTQ or abortion. It deeply bothers. This is Five Pillars. He was also seen praying. What is this? Whatever, in a turban during a visit to a Gurdwara, a Sikh place in Glasgow, alongside two young Sikh children, depicting inclusivity and tolerance of all faith. Now, I get it. Hamza Yousaf might be doing all of these things just as a photo op, because he wants to be elected as a first minister, wants to see as a progressive Muslim or whatever, and privately he might not believe in it. But Armin, look at this. A lot of young Muslims are looking at it, young kids are looking at him, they're like, we thought that us brown people are not respected by these white majoritarian people, but I can get the top job. But I have to reform my views. I have to be more accepting and tolerant towards LGBTQ, and I have to be more tolerant and accepting towards people who are critical of my faith and apostates, etc. And then within a generation or two, this is a watered down version of Islam, and then their generation are more likely to become, as you said, secularization has happened, and they're more likely to become atheists. Bye, Daniel Akikachusen.
Okay, so I think there's a misunderstanding of what I'm saying when I'm talking about why I'm against reform, okay? Because let me try to how to simplify this, because I think it's a little bit complicated and a lot of people don't seem to get what I'm actually saying, right? When I'm against reform, right? When a Muslim conservative who is anti-LGBT, okay, becomes tolerant of LGBT, goes from being against LGBT to being like tolerant, being from a homophobe to a tolerant person, okay? And he says, I'm still a Muslim, now I accept LGBT, right? I am not claiming that this is a bad thing. Okay? I'm saying this is obviously a step in the right direction. Somebody who was a homophobe now is tolerant of of gay people. But I am against Islamic reform because what you just witnessed was not a force of Islamic reform. What you just witnessed was a force of liberal values. What Islamic reform does is comes in after the effect of liberal values and tries to take credit for what just happened to Islam.
Kind of like a defense mechanism. So secularization has forced them, hey, update yourself.
This is liberalization.
Okay, liberalization has forced them, hey, update your beliefs. And they're like, the first resist, they're like, no, okay, shit, we have to. And then you're saying that, okay, what they were forced to update their views, and now they come around and say, hey, look, we've reformed. So what's wrong with that, Armin? That's right. Let them have it.
So you have a first part that is good, which is a Muslim now has better views than before. A second part that without it, we would be better, right? So here's the thing. If we take out the second part, if we don't accept, let's say I'm a Muslim. I was like, I am no longer a homophobe. I accept gay people. I am tolerant. We endorse this. We say this is good. Now the second part comes out, and I think this is in accordance with Islam. I think you should resist the second part. I'm not saying this person should not be able to do this. Obviously, you should be able to claim that. But I think our job is to resist the second part. The first part was that person became liberal. We like that. The second part was the reform part. That second part should be resisted. Why? Because without it, Islam will be less able to survive. And without it, we wouldn't have the less of the first part. Because a lot of people think that if we take out the second part, we would have less of the first part. That is not true. If a Muslim, who was a homophobe, now they're tolerant. When they come out after and say, I don't think this is in contradiction to Islam, if I deny him that doesn't mean he's going to go back to becoming a homophobe. He might resist me saying, he might be like, no, Armin, you're wrong. I think this is in accordance to Islam. But it's not going to be like, okay, Armin, you convinced me. I'm going to go back to being a homophobe. That doesn't happen. The liberal force is too strong.
Well, people like Hikikachi made it happen too.
No.
There are a lot of proud homophobes coming out of Islam as well.
No. The homophobes that Hayraju, the force is going into acceptance, the tolerance. Okay? What Hayraju has done is to provide a home for people who we don't like this. These are not new homophobes. These are already existing homophobes.
No, but these are born and raised in England and in Europe, and they've been to good universities.
I know, but they're not homophobes.
So what that proves that you're saying you want to kill this beast of Islam with one hit. I'm saying no. The reform one is
no. You're not. Let me finish my point then, because it's not making okay. The people who are homophobes are not becoming homophobes because liberals are telling them that what true Islam is. Okay, if the force that comes out and tells people, right, that to people who are who are tolerant, that this is not in accordance to Islam, they're not making liberal Muslims conservative. If they're having any effect, is that they're making liberal Muslims reconsider Islam. The net effect is in that direction. We don't have a wave of Muslims who used to be liberal and now, because of listening to other liberals who are saying that this is in contradiction to Islam, to go back to conservative Islam.
We do. We're seeing.
Because of Harris.
Don't you think people who were aren't you seeing a wave of people who were liberal, who would act liberal, they used to be liberal, but now they use this wokeism as, hey, look, this is the result of liberalism. I'm not talking about the one with beards like a
exactly. Oh my God. Yeah. So
I'm talking about people who look like you and me.
Listen to what you're saying. They're responding to what? They're responding to wokeism. They're responding to being incels. They're responding to Andrew Tate. They're responding to Daniel Hairaju. They're not responding to liberals. Anti-religion liberals are not making people more conservative. Do you understand?
Yeah, but they see wokeism as liberal as well, as the extreme version of liberalism as well.
Okay, but those are a different kind of that's it. Okay, whatever you want to call it, that's a different narrative. That's a different reason why people are becoming conservative. It's not the anti-reform push that is making people conservative. It's a response to wokeism. So you're saying some people, yeah. So the push.
But we can't disown
reform,
wokeism either. But we can't abandon wokeism as well. It is a result of liberalism.
Wait, wokeism is a reason for liberalism in the same way that Nazism is the reason for Darwinism. That's a different argument. You're now talking about something else. I'm saying the push against Islamic reform, it's a good push. Because none of the things that you listed as making people more conservative has anything to do with the push against Islamic reform. The push against Islamic reform is a positive push because it's a defense mechanism that religion has that you're taking away from it. It's not going to make people more conservative, as you listed. So if you want to talk about wokeism, that's a separate discussion. We could talk about the nature of wokeism.
But they work together, though, Armin. It all works together. This pronoun issue.
That's a completely different topic.
No,
Tell me
but
wokeism.
They look at it. They look at it entirely. They say, okay, well, this is what happens. We need to be very conservative with our worldview, which is our faith. So people who were like, okay, that's fine. If a woman wants to go to university, it's fine. That is liberal by Islamic standards. But now they say no. They've built this case against liberalism. They say if you become liberal, you're bound to have this OnlyFans, and then they. I do understand. You're saying that that's a separate issue. That's not causing liberal becoming conservatives.
Okay, if you're talking about them calling something a liberal, forget what we're calling it. Let's look at the narratives instead of the labels, okay? Because let's look at the content rather than what we call it, okay? So what you refer to as wokeism, if they call it liberal, you call it wokeism, think about that narrative, okay? That is making some people conservative. Okay, sure, I get it, okay? But look at the narrative I'm pushing out there against Islamic reform. Whatever, I don't care about the label that you put on the content. That narrative is a completely different set of arguments.
I get that.
That is separate from wokeism, yeah.
I get that. So you're saying the narrative that we push, which is a bit more hawkish towards Islam, but doesn't that also push people as a defense mechanism? Oh, hang on a second. These Islamophobes or these apostates are coming for my religion. I'm gonna and they have a support of the whole liberal world behind them, even though they don't explicitly help us. But then they're like, okay, I should update my religious belief. This is a reform.
Exactly. That's a narrative that we are very sensitive about. Going after, attacking, people and demonizing them. And them becoming defensive, feeling attacked individually, right, is going to push them towards conservatism. Yes, exactly. That is, we have to be very careful about how we could push back against Islam without making people feel like they are being demonized as a community and attacked as a community.
No, we get that, but I'm saying we also play a role in reforming Islam because not everyone listens to us and say, okay, I'm leaving Islam. What they do. They end up updating their religion. No, we do both. We do both.
Yes, we do. I agree that pushing against Islam increases Islamic reform, okay? Because it's a defense mechanism. So the more you push against religion, the more is going to try to defend itself. And reform is one of those defense tactics. So pushing against religion is going to see more Islamic reform, right? But I'm saying that that's going to be a reality. I'm not going to say like, we can't avoid that reality, but we could try to reduce that defense mechanism, and we will be more successful if we push back against that defense mechanism.
But you're just saying that as a strategy. But I'm just saying that. But the end game, I know what you used to say. I don't know if you still say this. That you said that in a nutshell, you're against reform because it still leaves the door open for Islam to go back to its harsher version
No.
and make a comeback. No,
No, that's not what I'm saying. No.
you never
Even
said that.
if it doesn't.
Oh, you used to say
No,
that.
I
yeah,
do
no?
that. I did used to say that, but people misunderstand because they think that's the only reason. Okay.
No, I'm not
Even
saying
if
that's
it
the only
doesn't-
reason. Yeah.
No, even if it. Let me actually. I want to focus on this. Let's say it doesn't go back. Let's say Islam stays. Okay, but it never
Watered down
goes.
version.
Yeah, the watered down version. Okay, I'm against it, even if we have the watered down version, because the watered down version is bad. I want to live in a world where more people have beliefs that are closer to reality. So even if it never goes back, it's still bad that it survives.
But Armin, watered down version. There's one thing about it. Now we've already closed the chapter that it's not going to go back. The watered down version is going to get further diluted. It's going to get even more watered down. So what? So that's okay. I'm saying
I know.
It's going in a good direction. So you're just basically saying that okay, let's just push on it because we'd rather have that's a better
know it's
result.
going. I know it's going in a good direction. I'm admitting that it's going in a good direction.
All right,
I
then
will
that's
just
fine
say
then.
it's. I'm just saying that it would be faster if it doesn't have this defense mechanism.
Yeah,
I think, because
I'd be billionaire. Yeah. I'll be a multimillionaire. It'd be faster to become a multimillionaire if I win a lottery, but unfortunately I can't. So it's okay.
No. This is This is not. This is false equivalence because what you're referring to something that is very unlikely, right? However, I am referring to something. No, what is unlikely?
It'll still take 100 years. I'm just saying it would still take 100 years.
I didn't say it doesn't take. I didn't. What are you responding to?
Slow.
I didn't
I'm saying that it'll be slow. I'm saying it'll be slow. It would still be slow.
I know it would be slow, but it would be a bit faster. It's not binary. It's not either really, really fast or really, really slow. I'm just saying, like the example of a lottery is like, it's like either not poor or very, very rich. I'm saying it could be somewhat faster if we push back against the defense mechanism that religion has. So when religious people become better, when their value system becomes more in line with modernity, okay, if they go around and say, well, this does not contradict my religion, I'm telling you that it's helpful to point out that it actually does contradict your religion. That will make us move towards modernity a bit faster. Not like overnight, but just a bit faster if we are out there pointing out that it actually does contradict.
Well, obviously that's true though, but it's still it's unrealistic. I get it. So it's the sooner we can kill Islam, the better would it be. And look, we are doing that, I guess. Yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean, okay. I come from a country that within 40 years, half of the population has lived for religion. Within 40 years, within one generation. So don't tell me how unrealistic this is.
No, but that's what this is what I mean. Like, it might take 40, 50, 60 years and reforms. I just don't see that as, again, don't, you just jump on these words. I'm saying, I say it's okay. I just don't see that. I'm not that hawkish towards reform. I know you've said it. Yeah, it's okay. You don't see it as a bad thing, but I'm saying it's okay. I'm not going to waste too much of my energy on that, on bashing reform, which you don't do that either. I know. I guess this is just a philosophical position that you've taken, which makes sense. So you're on mute.
I know. I was trying to use Google.
Okay, we got that. Let's just quickly go through this. I think let's wrap this up. I think we've had a pretty good sparring session today, so that's good. You got a couple of you're mute again.
I know. I'm trying to show you something. I'm using Google Translate to find it.
Okay. Well,
it's really good. Okay, you go. Give me a second. This is good. This is good because it goes back into. Give me 1 second, please.
Okay, that's fine. In the meantime,
found it. So this is a popular. This is a popular chant now in Iran. Okay, so in Iran, a lot of reformist Muslims, they say that the religion of the government is not true Islam, right? They say like, yeah, we're against the government, and they are brutal, but real Islam is not what they have, what the government has, right? Real Islam is good. So please don't judge Islam. Please don't judge Islam by what the Islamic Republic is doing, right? So a lot of Iranians now have signs that says this, okay? It says, "نه تنها ریدم تو اسلامتون," is like, not only do I shit on Islam,
okay,
بلکه ریدم تو اون یکی اسلامتون که میگید این اون نیست. But I also shit on the Islam that you say that is not that Islam.
That's brilliant. That's it. It doesn't matter. You can't repackage this bullshit to me, this dog shit to me.
Yeah.
I would shit on both of them. See, this is what's beautiful about Iran, that people are still holding that in that kind of a country. Like, I mean, you can't imagine. So in Pakistan, they still have this romanticization of Islam. They always say, "Oh, this is not the real Islam. The real Islam is beautiful. This is BS. This is blah blah blah." I think Nuria was telling the story about she met this woman. Without going too much into it, and she was saying she was an Iranian woman, and Nuria being an ex-Muslim, and obviously she wants to bring that up in a conversation, and she said, "Well, you see, that's what Islam does." She's like, "No. Islam's got nothing to do with it. My husband's just a dickhead." So she was like, "Oh man, how do I tell these people?" Well, she was Iranian, so she was hoping that she could just quickly get in a year.
Oh,
okay.
We got a super chat that we forgot. Let me send you a super chat.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So thank you for the super chat. ES1002 is asking, if Jesus was Muslim, what sect was he part of? Well, I think a Muslim would say that there is no sect in Islam. We only have Islam. Sects are. Let me actually put my Muslim hat on. Okay. Islam is made by God. Sects are made by people. So sect is man-made. Islam is God-made, right? So sects are imaginary things. There's only one Islam. So Jesus belongs to true Islam, whatever that true Islam is. That's what they would say. Did I represent a Muslim answer?
No, yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
There was another super chat. I think we missed that. I think there was one from Nuria.
Nuria?
Yeah. There was one from
Sorry,
Nuria.
Nuria. We should start. Did you start it?
No, I don't think so. But I just saw that on my stream.
Did it not show up on StreamYard?
It must have.
Okay.
Hang on. It must be above ES. I think, so Nuria basically said, I can read it. She said, I have been keeping an eye on new academic research on Islam as much as I can, but can you send these, this? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. I've been following academic research on Islam as much as possible. I love it. Could you please mention which newer academics you are referring to, Armin?
Yeah, okay, hold on.
So just send it to me. No, I think you're going to send it to me anyway, and I'll share that with her.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm actually interested in that, and I hope it's not just an academic paper, because that's very difficult to read. Has it turned into a book or anything?
No, these are very highly academic. Is that okay?
Good luck. Okay, well, I'll put that in ChatGPT, and I'll say change the language to a layman. That can happen.
That's it.
It does really good. Yeah. Okay, so
do you want me? Hold on, let me actually see if I could read some.
No, you can find it later. I need to wrap this up very quickly. You've got 2 questions.
Okay, yeah, I have 2
questions. I want to talk about this because I was going to talk about this. It's like, please react. Please react to Dawkins' interaction and hesitancy in this interview. I was shocked. I actually tweeted about this as well, and I said, look, it is sad, it is depressing, but let's just play this video in a bit. Actually, hang on. Do you have the same clip, or I think you might have a different clip? I'm not really sure.
Well, this is the one that the patron question is about.
Okay, yeah. Play that video.
All right.
I'd rather not.
Wait, let's go to the beginning.
Big debate about this ISIS bride, Shamima Begum, whether she should be allowed to come back to this country. Do you have a view about that?
I'd rather not say.
You'd rather not say?
I haven't studied it enough.
Well, she was married to an ISIS fighter.
I know.
She was but she was 15 when she went out there. The debate really is, was she groomed to be part of this terror group in Syria? And as such, should we show mercy and allow her back to this country?
Yes, I'm not going to say about that.
Are you worried about? Do you get threats because of the positions you've taken on some of these things? Yeah. When you saw what happened to Salman Rushdie, didn't send a shudder through you? Are you saying no? You don't want to talk about it, or
yes?
Right. That's interesting in itself. Because there are areas which you would prefer not to discuss.
Yes. I should have said that before we started.
Yeah,
Yes, you should have.
Listen, I think it's sad that you can't. I don't think anything should be off limits in interviews with people like you. The whole point of the world's smartest thinkers is we ought to be able to have free and open debate. But I don't think we do, because people use murderous retribution against free speech. Really is what it amounts to.
I think this is the same clip that I cut out. I think I cut out. It's exactly the same clip. I think it exactly ended there. Let me just confirm that if it's the same one, because
people should be free.
Okay, I think he has a good reason. He must have a good reason.
No, but there is a point to be made. No, but there's a point to be made, Armin, and I think we need to be fair. I think there is no fear. There's going to be no threat to Dawkins' life when it comes to pointing out or giving out his opinion on Shamima Begum. Do we agree on that?
No, we don't know. We don't know there must be something happening that he can't tell us, that there's a good reason why he can't tell us. I don't understand why we would criticize him for that. We don't know what's happening.
I'm not criticizing him at all. I'm not criticizing him at all on that. I'm saying
no, you're not, but Piers Morgan is. Like oh, this is a shame. Like, you have no idea. You have no like Piers Morgan is like, what he's like, oh, it's so sad that an intellectual person, it might be a security issue. It might be some of his friends.
But Piers is being more understanding. He's actually saying, "Oh, that is sad. That if you're thinking about it, if you have security concerns." No, Piers. No,
but he's saying like the whole point of. Okay.
No, Piers is fine, Armin. Piers is actually being sympathetic towards him, and he's actually being condemned. He's more condemning towards this behavior of Muslims and of radicals. Like, you can't really talk about it. But I think the point here is, it actually went in a different direction. So Richard Dawkins could have said something about. I don't think he would be intimidated. He would be intimidated commenting on Shamima Begum's case. But yes, what followed after that was that. So I reckon he was initially. So here's my hunch, and let's listen to this again.
Begum, whether she should be allowed to come back to this country. Do you have a view about that?
I'll not say.
I think this part he's not worried about. He's not scared of radical Muslims. Kana Muslims who attack Salman Rushdie. I think he's more worried about wokeism cancelled, because he's been getting attacked. He's getting worried about.
No.
Yes, I reckon this point is. So, Armin, you think that if Dawkins said anything about her citizenship should be cancelled or not, he's going to have any repercussions on that issue? A lot of people have spoken about that.
Dawkins is not going to care about repercussions. He has been saying the most controversial things. He doesn't give a crap. Cancel.
He's 87. He's 87 now. He's 87.
Yeah, exactly. He's 87. What else could people do to him? Cancel from what? Cancel from what? Like, does he have a show that he's making money out of that is going to be
No, his book is coming out. No, his book is coming out.
So what? He's 87. He's already made the money that he, like, what is he looking forward to other than
legacy? Not unnecessary finding himself.
Oh my God! His legacy is that he's a brutal, honest person that doesn't care about consequences. That's his legacy.
Okay, so tell me. So what is it? Okay, so tell me.
We don't know. We don't know. He must have a good. You know what? Here's the answer. I cannot say. So when he cannot say, then we don't know.
Speculate. Let's just speculate. Though.
The speculation is that it might be a personal thing or personal issue that somebody close to him has that he doesn't want.
His wife is a Muslim now. He doesn't want to offend her. What do you mean personal issue?
What? I don't know. How could I speculate?
People want your freaking opinion.
I can't speculate.
So let me give my opinion then. I reckon here, because he got in trouble with with transgender issues, and he's been upset. He's been upset about that. In the same interview, he did actually talk about that too, rather disparagingly. But
bad speculation.
Okay, all right. He started off with that, so he doesn't want to get cancelled. There's a bit of a worry there, and
you're rather not say,
I haven't studied it enough.
So he just politely gives that, I haven't studied it enough. Just change the topic. He goes, and then he goes on to educate him about what that is.
Well, she was married.
And then he says, I know.
To an ISIS fighter.
I know.
She was a young, she was 15 when she went out there. The debate really is, was she groomed to be part of this terror group in
Yes.
Syria.
But listen,
And as such, should we show mercy and allow her back to this country?
Yes.
this part is not going to do anything. No radical Muslim is going to come after him over that, but there is a possibility of maybe some cancel culture. I don't think someone would have cancelled him on that either, because a lot of other people have said that. So cancel cultures have abandoned, those people have abandoned Shamima Begum as well, which is fine. But I think Dawkins probably made a policy that, you know what, screw this. I'm just not going to talk about anything controversial.
This is not about the last thing it could be is about cancel culture. We're talking about Richard Dawkins.
All right. Okay, so that's my opinion. Let's just disagree with that. But next point, I think is definitely radical Muslims.
I'm not going to say about that.
Are you worried about? Did you get threats because of the positions you've taken on some of these things?
Oh, that's so.
And you saw what happened to Salman Rushdie.
No, I did. You didn't see it. You don't want to talk about. This is so cute and sad at the same time. It's like, this is I don't know. This is my intellectual hero, and he's like,
no. I have personally talked to Richard about whether he gets afraid about threats.
Yeah, he didn't.
And
he didn't. That was a while ago.
No, that's not what I was going to say. You don't know what he answered to me. Let me actually say it.
Okay.
He said, "Why would you ask me that question?" He didn't like the question. He's like, "I don't want to answer that question. Why would you ask me?" He got upset with me. Richard got upset with me when I asked him about if he gets afraid. So this is completely inconsistent with what he was before.
No, but it's so maybe he doesn't. Yeah, that's a bit of yeah. Personally, yeah, you're right.
Yasmin is criticizing the same thing, like heartbreaking scene. Okay, this is Yasmin is saying this, right? Heartbreaking scene. Piers Morgan is interviewing Richard Dawkins, one of the most influential minds alive today, and he shuts down. He won't even comment on Salman Rushdie. This is where terrorism leads, as Piers points out. As Piers points out, this is how it works. Well, you guys don't know what the man has to deal with. You don't know what Richard has to deal with. Like I said,
what could it be?
I specifically asked this from Richard, and he didn't want to answer me. He got angry with me. He got upset with me. Like, why would you ask me that question, right? So when it comes to this is a man that has sacrificed so much, including his personal safety, right? So this is, it can't be the cancel culture. So when it comes to cancel culture, he doesn't back down. He comes out and tells you whatever is on his mind, right? But when it comes to threat to his life, the man doesn't want to get into that, because here you want me to give one speculation.
That changes though. What you just said, it's basically what you asked, this is pretty much what Piers Morgan asked. So that could be like, okay, I don't want to, I never answer that. So that might be his policy, that never to answer that. So I get
you know
that.
What actually what Yasmin doesn't understand here, is that actually answering that question leads to terrorism, could be leading to terrorism. You know why? Because what if it does scare you? What if it does scare you? What if it does bother you? You know what?
Then it encourages those threat.
Yeah. So that maybe what Yasmin should understand here is maybe the reason why he's not answering is because the answer leads to terrorism.
No, but Armin, but we could flip it around. We could also say that him saying, like, for example, what I tweeted, I said, you can tell me Islam is violent without telling me it's violent, like that joke. So I can say that too. Like, him reacting this way tells you that, you know what, I get so many death threats that I've decided that I'm not going to talk about Islam because it's a violent ideology. We can interpret it that way as well, like a lot of people have interpreted it, because that is the common view of Islam when it comes to Islam, and particularly when we put what happened to Salman Rushdie.
See, Harris, let's say, for example, they find your weakness. Your audience finds your weakness. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they're using that against you. Okay?
Yeah.
What would you do? You would try not to make it. Yeah, you would try for them not to find that they actually have hit you.
But I mean, he's not doing that though. But he's not. He actually. This sends a message that I'm freaking scared. I get so many death threats.
Well, you didn't think that until I just mentioned.
Yeah,
it,
but
right?
yeah, but you're telling me. But I'm not the only one. Like I think I know. I don't know him personally. I've broken words with him a couple of times, but I can't get a read on him, and he's very different to what I've read him. You probably asked him a lot more personalized question. But I'm saying, as an outsider, someone who thinks that I think I understand this guy, I am reading it totally different, and I'm not the only person. There's so many other people are reading it exactly the same way. That this poor old man is scared, and you're saying no, he's just trying to give a different. He doesn't want to give any.
No, I'm saying if he's scared. It's not cancel culture that he's afraid of. It's not cancel culture.
Okay, no, I get that part. I think that part. No, but he did not know that after Shamima Begum, that question is going to lead to the question that he doesn't like to answer. So why did he say no comment on that question? So not that part. I reckon there might be some. This is like I'm putting your hands in a hornet's nest.
You know what? I shouldn't even speculating. I don't think we should assume. I think we just don't know, and it's unfair for people, including Yasmin, to come out and judge the guy after he has sacrificed so much. Okay, judge the guy for not answering here so much for one question after coming out and putting so much at risk, saying things that other people were afraid to say. Here he doesn't want to answer. He has every right not to answer. A lot of people were silent and scared, and he came out and he gave the direct and bold answer that other people refused to give. He deserves to not answer here if he doesn't want to. I'm not saying you're saying anything. I'm not responding to you. I'm not saying you're accusing.
No, I think you're right though.
I'm just saying judging him for that is like very unjust.
Actually, you know what? That's actually unfair. You know why that's unfair? Because even my tweet, I think probably this is our biases, my bias, and it's human that's it works. Because I'm like, Islam is violent. Yes, Islam, adherents of Islam do send death threats to people. I don't get that many death threats. Like I've always said it. Like I actually don't get as many death threats, or I don't get any at all. If any, I get them. So Dawkins hasn't really been that active on atheism as well. So I think for us to cash in on that suddenly and say, "Oh, look at this, poor Dawkins, he's scared of Islam." But when the truth is, he might not even be getting any death threats now, because he's, as I said, like he's been out of this criticizing religion business. He hasn't especially ever since he had this stroke. He doesn't even like talk about religion, and he says that all the time. He says, "I don't want to be remembered as someone who destroyed religion. I want to be remembered for my scientific contributions and my scientific books." So yeah, look, I think you're probably right. I think it's unfair to say, because that's an insult to Richard Dawkins, that, oh, look, he's scared, or he's scared of the cancel culture, because especially his history proves otherwise. His history says that he stood up to every bully and thug that there is out there who's tried to silence him. He said, "Fuck you." So I think, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I might have to retweet this tweet and reword it and say, yeah, look, I don't think it's, I think we just don't know. I think there could be other reasons behind it.
I think it's just a bit ungrateful, because he made the process a lot easier for the rest of us.
Right? I did say that in the tweet. I said, thank you. You kickstarted this movement nearly 20 years ago, or 25. 20 years ago. Now let us take care of it. Piers Morgan, if you want opinions on Islam, you should invite ex-Muslims like Mariam Namazi. Underneath that, I got a little tweet from, actually, no, I shouldn't say it. Oh! By the way, look at this. Look at this response by this Muslim. He says, "Finally, people appear to have gotten the message. Constructive criticism is welcome, but blasphemy and hate speech is not." I'm like, you stupid idiot. You basically saying that if you're scared of Islam, that's a good thing. That's the message you want to send. Nobody's. No, it doesn't look good on Islam. Anyway.
Okay. I made a mistake. I posted the link in the live chat. So, guys, we're not going to... I was going to put it in my community tab, but it's too late now. Anyways, actually, we're not going to bring anybody up, guys. Don't click on that link because I was supposed to post it somewhere else. Let me just answer the last question, and then we could move on.
Wrap it up.
All right. This is a question from D, I think. Yeah, okay. I recently watched a 30-minute Yasser Qadi video about the crisis of Muslims marrying outside their faith. He talked about how children born outside nikah
Nikah.
Oh, yeah, are not considered related to their grandparents according to the Sharia. I was surprised and hadn't heard this before. Is it true? Is it true? I don't know.
I've never heard of this. It might be some secondary fiqh book, because if a kid is born out of your slave woman, he's still your kid, and that kid has full rights, and that kid has grandparents. Your parents are his grandparents. So if that's the case with the child of a slave woman, well, yeah, it could be messed up. I don't know. It's definitely not that I know of in any hadith books. I think it must come from some fiqh book, but I don't know which fiqh. Ask ChatGPT. Does an illegitimate child in Islam? Actually, no, ChatGPT is not true. It just gives me a watered down version of Islam. But yeah, the ChatGPT is crap when it comes to giving an honest answer about Islam. Did you find anything?
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah. Crisis. Okay, but D also sent us let me actually think about this. Outside their faith, he talked about how children born outside of Nikah are considered related to their grandparents according to Sharia. I was surprised. Did you find anything? Yeah,
ChatGPT.
It sucks at this thing.
It sucks at this thing, man.
Yeah,
I didn't even bother asking. Okay, so
yeah,
can we end it?
But we do have a video that Dee sent us that she wants us to watch. Can we watch that for a second?
Yeah, sure.
It's 2-minute video. She says it's fun.
Okay.
So
I have a very funny video too. So we're going to play 2 fun videos.
Okay.
Oh, Pastor thinks Trump is...
Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
This is on Trump pastor extraordinaire. Loves the dude to death. And he had some interesting things to say about the election that's about to take place between Donald Trump and, the general election in the United States, 2024 presidential election. Of course, it doesn't happen for a while still. But Trump, as we know, announced like years before it was actually going to happen. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. I want to talk about what Shane Vaughn had to say for himself regarding Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, who seems pretty obvious are going to run against each other, because this guy is a Trump prophet. He views Trump as a messiah. You just heard it with his own words. So it's going to get absolutely nutty. Some of the stuff he's going to say about Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump and all of the others. Before we listen to some of the things that he's said about Trump and DeSantis, though, let me just give you a little bit of background on him, show you the rest of that clip so you have a little bit of context. This is a pastor on the right here. This is Kim Clement, and he is commonly by the Trump movement. He's used as evidence that Trump is the Messiah because he supposedly prophesied that Trump is going to run for president at some point in the future. And lo and behold, Donald Trump ran for president and eventually won. That makes him a prophet of God or something, apparently. Listen to what Shane Vaughn has to say here, dude on the left. This is mid-August 2022.
What is the prophetic seal that Yahweh placed upon Donald Trump and upon his true people? It is supernatural prosperity and blessings.
So God will bless you, supernaturally bless you with prosperity if you support Donald Trump, basically is what he's saying.
That's the prophetic seal. Donald Trump carries the prophetic seal of the calling of God. He is Joseph. If you are anointed by Yahweh for a specific plan and purpose, you are a Messiah.
Is this so?
He knows that was an absolutely crazy thing to say, so he's going to give the audience a second to absorb it.
Yeshua was the Messiah of mankind, but Donald Trump is the Messiah of America.
Wow.
So this guy's theology.
Got that point. Yeah, that's pretty wacky. But I learned something, Armin. This is something people can relate to Islam as well. So the infamous Khatmun Nabiyeen verse in the Quran, it actually goes as something like the seal of seal of the prophet.
Yes.
And
Khatam
that's-
al-Anbiya.
Yes, a lot of Muslims, actually unanimous Muslims, agree that it means that's sealing, like it's just sealing it, like that means Muhammad is the last prophet. But a lot of people say that the common saying at the time was, and this has been borrowed from the Jewish and Christian tradition, and I'm actually surprised to see that a Christian using that as well, like, oh, this is Donald Trump is the seal of the prophets. So if you look at it, back in the day, in those times, again, this is just a speculation, seal of the emperor, seal of the king, seal of the mayor, that used to be used as an authority, not necessarily as the finality of it. So a lot of people, and Ahmadi Muslims, that has always been their argument. They say, but that doesn't mean that Muhammad is the last prophet. And that's the only verse in the Quran. There's only one verse that the whole finality, Muhammad being the final prophet, is actually standing on. So that got me to thinking that, okay, other traditions have used seal of the prophet as well, but they've used that as they've used it metaphorically, that this is the authority. Because when back in the day, if I wanted to send a letter to you, obviously I would use a horse rider to take this letter to Armin, who's 3 days away. I would put my seal on it. So that's like a seal of Emperor Harus Sultan, right? And now that's going to King Armin Navabi of Persia. So it goes. So now you know that, okay, this letter bears the authority of Harus Sultan. So that's what it probably meant in the Quranic verse, and that's what Ahmadi's entire faith is built on that. And if that's true, then Muhammad was not supposed to be the final prophet. Because if there was such a big claim on the finality of Muhammad, then it should have been mentioned in multiple places in the Quran. What do you think?
Well, how many places in the Quran has mentioned that the Quran is
just once?
Is that in the same right next to the verse about Zayd and Zainab, the marriage?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Because if it's there, then it actually makes sense to me that it's about Muhammad being the last prophet.
No, yes, you're right. Yes, yeah. Because basically what it says,
it talks about Muhammad not having any children.
No, it talks about that I can marry whoever I want.
No, it's about your adopted son not being your real sons, and Muhammad doesn't have any sons. So within that context, it makes sense that if it's within that context, then it makes sense that it's talking about Muhammad being the last prophet.
Muhammad being the last prophet?
Yeah, because it's talking about Muhammad not having any children, and like we said, Islamic used to be a Jewish cult. So within Judaism, prophethood is you inherit prophethood from your parents within the Jewish tradition.
Okay, so why don't you see it like this? Muhammad is not the father of any of your men, but he is a messenger of Allah and seal. So, and it's not seal, it's Khatmul Nabiyyin. No. So he is basically he's the authority of messengers. That's what it means. He's not a father of anyone. He's the authority of messengers. Why would you say that I'm the final prophet? Why would you say? So he's saying that I'm not your father. I'm the authority of prophets. I carry the authority of a prophet. I'm not your father. I'm not your husband. I'm not your friend. Whatever. I am Allah's prophet. I have the authority of it. Yeah.
No. The father here means literal father.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's talking about Muhammad not having any children, not having any sons, not having any sons. Not he has children, not any sons. Right. And this refers to the Jewish tradition of, because see, this is a political move. This whole story of Zayd and Zainab is a political move to make sure that there are no rebellion, no religious, no new sects of Islam to try to start a rebellions against the Abbasid dynasty, right? And that's why they put it in, to try to build a story in a way that removes Muhammad's sons, to make sure that Muhammad has no sons. This is why the rebellion movement against the Sunni Empire had to reinvent the idea of prophethood and build the brand of Imamites instead of prophethood, right? So the way you have your religion, the main Orthodox religion, Muhammad is his prophet, right? Usually, if you want as a rebellious movement, you need your own branding separate from the doctrine of the mainstream empire, right? So to do that, Muhammad's sons are usually good candidates. Removing Muhammad's sons, so new prophets, you have a claim to prophethood if you are by blood connected to the prophethood, right? So making sure that you seal that off makes it so that there are very little
no heir to the throne kind of thing.
So and saying that Muhammad is the last prophet is why the Shia branding gave up on prophethood, so it invented a new concept, which is Imamite. So okay, we can't have any more prophets, but we will have imams. So it will have as a authoritative figure like prophets do, but we will just call it something else. And we will still connect it by blood to Prophet Muhammad through Muhammad's daughter with Ali. So you marry Muhammad's daughter Fatima to Ali, and all the children of Fatima will still be blood related to Muhammad. And that's how you'd start a rebellious movement.
Yeah, no, I get that. And that was always bound to happen. So, okay, but for that to, okay, fair enough. Well, look, I mean, I'm not fully sold on that, but I just wanted to bring that up as this argument that the seal of the prophet could mean that, hey, this is the authority of a prophet. That's what it means. Because in the case of this Donald Trump case, it just reminded me of that. But anyway, okay, can we end this on a funny video? Do you want to see something funny?
Well, we're 40 minutes over time, but let's do it
I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But this is a beauty of religion.
Okay.
It can make people do really, really stupid things, and so stupid that it actually makes you. Sorry, Divya, we're about to finish. We're not going to take any more calls. Sorry, Divya, we're about to finish.
Okay, sorry, Divya. Thank you. Next time.
So, have a look at this, and pardon the comedy sounds. I had to do it. No. Look at the poor woman. Like she's been groped and harassed and.
Wait,
look
she
at the
lost her hijab.
Yeah, lost her hijab. Look at the stress on her face, and this is that meteorite that they want to kiss. I mean, this is how stupid religion can be. That you
wait,
it's just
play the whole thing.
Yeah. I was gonna give a commentary as well.
No.
Look at his face. Look at these people.
Oh my god!
Look at him as well. He looks like, oh my god, his arm is gone as well. These people, this is what religion does to people.
That's insane.
You're right. And not only that, you're exchanging your saliva of so many people, which is so unhygienic, and they actually think just because it came from the sky, they think that this is a rock from heaven. That's what they believe. It's just an ordinary. There are billions of asteroids. There are hundreds of billions of icy objects called comets in the Kuiper belt, where Pluto is, and beyond that. It's just a freaking rock. It's a meteor, and they think that, and then they kiss it, and this is what they do to it. This is. I said, thank science for. And my tweets always piss off a lot of Muslims. So I just said that thanks science for not making me this stupid. I know that this is not a rock from heaven. This is just an ordinary meteorite. I said all these people are going crazy over kissing an ordinary meteorite, thinking it's a rock from heaven, trampling and de-hijabbing women along the way. And look at this guy. He says, how stupid is... Oh, there's so many comments. This guy goes to me, oh, Haris, why don't you thank science for doing this to America? And he plays this video of, oh, Jesus, where is it? I hope I find it. Yeah, look at this. Why, Haris, why don't you say thanks? respond to this? So because I praised science, and he's saying,
Science,
look at this. He's saying, look at this.
How
Science
did-
did this as well. Science created drugs.
Science did that? Huh.
Well, science created drugs. Basically, that's what he's
Okay.
saying. That's what he's saying. Which is, how would you respond to this?
Well, I mean, I don't usually thank science because science is not like a
Like a
conscious.
god. Yeah, but
entity.
it's a more tongue-in-cheek kind of comment. Yeah,
I
it
know,
is-
I know.
But
Well, that's what that's
but
what I
there's
would
some-
say. I would say I was being tongue in cheek. I wasn't actually thanking science.
Yeah,
That was sort of-
but then I got to thinking, it's like, actually, there's nothing wrong in that as well, because it's science that explained to me what a meteorite is, and it's not a rock from heaven. How else would I have known it? So
you could. No, I mean, so you are appreciating science. That's what you meant, okay? And again, something could have a tool like science could have be
Positive
used for
and
good
negative.
and could be used for evil. So just because you're appreciating something that has for its positive utilities, that doesn't mean that you're denying its negative utilities.
Yeah, because you can make nuclear weapons. You can create. You can do all sorts of things. We're damaging the environment. Thanks to some people can blame science for that as well. So it's like, yeah, but science also tells us that this is wrong. Don't do this. Science. If you're a junkie,
science doesn't tell us that. But
No, but we learn from science. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
science,
yeah.
Science
I mean,
have a mouth.
here's how I would say. Like, if somebody takes a surgical knife and stabs you with it, I wouldn't say like, "Oh, I wish surgical knives didn't exist." You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, "Those goddamn surgical knives, they're a nuisance." I wouldn't be like,
or if you get shot though, because surgical knife, okay, and a blacksmith can do it. You don't need to be a scientist.
Yeah, but I think it's a surgical knife is a better comparison than shot because science is utility is mostly positive. Like, we have negative examples, but a gun, might be as a force for taking lives. But a surgical knife, it's a tool for saving lives, right?
Yes.
So that's why I think science is a much better example.
Yeah, no, it is. Okay, I get your point. Okay, all right. Well, this is it, I guess. Wrap this up.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Become a Patreon. Both of our, either for Harry Sultan, and link in the description if you're watching Harry Sultan's channel, or
your
both,
favorite
or
one.
either. Yeah, or Secular Jihadists. You could become a Secular Jihadist patron. Link in the description. You could choose one or both. Or actually, you shouldn't choose any of them if you're struggling financially. People who are not financially secure, please don't donate anything to us. Please don't support us financially. But you can just like the video. Liking the video supports the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. And leave a comment. That also helps.
I've got 99 patrons at the moment. Who wants to be the 100th patron? So that's something that you can.
That's
do.
Nice.
All
right. Okay.
All right, people.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here, and see you again next week. Bye.